Welcome to another episode of Two Whites and a Blue. Here today on a Saturday morning. Is it morning still? It's not. It's almost 2 o'clock.
It feels like the fucking morning though.
Yeah, my co-hosts are the same as usual in name only. In spirit, I've lost both of them. It looks like
we're showing up to work today.
I just got to Mike's parents' house. Mike wasn't awake. I told him 1 o'clock. I got there at 1. He was asleep in his bed.
I was so glad that you were in bed. I'm like, nice. That means they're not going to be here.
It's not right.
Ringing out the rag for Will.
It's not right. Neither of you guys should be happy about that result.
Well, I mean, we milked it, and I got enough sleep, I think.
You guys did make it out. I'm glad about that. I wasn't expecting you to be fucked, too.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, when Mike's fucked, you just expected
I've seen Mike fucked a few times, but I wasn't expecting you to be completely disheveled and distraught as well.
I was honestly 50-50 where you were just going to be like, all right, fuck the podcast today.
Yeah,
One of you. I thought like it was just gonna be like.
That's what Mike just said. He said, I was really hoping Will said he didn't want to do it, and then we would have do it tomorrow.
I wasn't going to cancel, but like I was hoping that you were going to get there and be like, all right, Mike's in bed. Fuck it, we'll just do it tomorrow.
We can't cancel.
We do it for the viewers. We do it for you guys, the viewers.
You know,
we're
half
short
the,
clocking in today.
Yeah,
this hard-earned podcast.
Half of fucking succeeding is just showing up.
You're gonna have
That's
a hard-earned beer that will.
So these guys, before we started, agreed that they were going to drink during the show today because both of them are. You guys.
I mean, if you're gonna twist
4 a.m. 4 a.m. You're up till?
Yeah,
apparently.
if you're gonna twist my arm,
That's a long time. To me, that's too long to be.
Well,
up.
like the fucking gate is broken. There was a broken glass out here this morning. It was just fucking mayhem. There's 4 of us sitting around a fire. How did it get so fucking
mayhem?
Ruined?
Something in here is not wood either. Like there's like a plastic container melted in the middle of this fire pit.
That was a Pringles can. That's the tin.
That was 4 a.m. food.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
This is fucking good, Will. The fair weather,
high grade, man.
This is fucking good.
Well, are they supporting the show? What'd you spend your money on last week? Let's start on the end.
You are looking at it, and Mike is drinking it. I spent probably the most amount of money on beer that I've spent in a while. I spent like $120 on like 24 beers.
These are fucking huge.
What is the per?
A bunch. Yeah, that's like 500 mils, and it's like 6.5%.
What is the per unit cost of that?
$6 or $7.
That's not bad though for those bottles.
It's okay. And I
Did you
really
go back to Badlands again?
No, I didn't. I just went to Fairweather and Merritt just to pick up some beer. Other than that, we went golfing, which I haven't paid for yet, actually, so it doesn't count.
I paid for it in triplicate.
R.I.P.
And other than that, honestly, I don't think I spent a whole lot. Beer, and then that was it.
We're going to have a hard time getting this to 2 hours.
This is what you wanted to do.
We don't need it to get to 2 hours, bro. It used to be an hour.
What did you spend your money on?
I spent my money on golfing.
Yeah.
I went, I bought a round of pints.
At the golf course?
At the golf course.
Oh, yeah, so did I. Oh, no,
you bought a round.
Did I?
Yeah.
From some fly honey?
Some fly honey.
Fly honey?
Oh, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, true. I got mine from.
Shout out to the Shadow Cart Girls.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, respect.
Keep on doing your thing. You're fucking crushing it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I fucking... That's it. But golf and pints. Sorry, Joe. This is going to be rough.
Welcome to another episode.
Yeah.
No, you just gotta suck that thing down. And then it'll be good.
Yeah, I do. Maybe I should not.
You just lit up Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true that. And I didn't get my fucking change back because I was too hungover. Turkey bacon club and a large iced coffee, which I wish I had another one of.
It's safe to say that both of you guys probably have drank quite a bit less in the last few weeks than the beginning of the quarantine, right?
No.
Really? You both
didn't drink. In the quarantine, I didn't drink for like 2.5 months.
Oh, that's right. You didn't. Yeah, I was drinking more at the beginning. Now I'm not drinking at all.
I took like a month and a half off too. Now I'm like fucking 180. I'm drinking like 90 right now.
Yeah, Mike, you're just living your best life, eh? You're just enjoying it.
Fuck. You're my best view. Well,
what else I spent my money on was that fucking downloaded Uber Eats.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it. So we get to your house. What did we see when we came in?
I was frying up some old pierogies that I had left over from a couple days ago when they were fucking delicious from Loaded Pierogi.
You didn't get them this morning?
No, I just fried them up.
I thought you got them this morning.
I know. That's my problem, man. It's because I knew I had pierogies in the fridge, and I'm still on Uber Eats app in my bed being like, maybe I can maybe I'll just throw those out. And just
I have never once made a good purchase from my bed.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a good purchase from your bed.
Maybe good at the time, but definitely not
Yeah.
like not well thought out.
Not something I'm going to put on the Mount Rushmore of purchases.
Yeah, and then exactly.
I got Skip the Dishes. I've ordered Skip the Dishes once, and I will never do it again.
Really?
It was like I got Osmos. It was just my thought was I don't want to go there. There's one like I don't know what do you say? It's like a 3-minute drive.
University Plaza?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
my house, and I
Yeah.
was like, hey, you know what? I just don't feel like going today. And then I Uber Eat or Skip the Dishes to it, and then they got there. It was like it took an hour and a half to get.
Holy
It was
fuck.
cold, and it costed like $25.
It's so expensive to
I
buy
was
shit
like,
on
are
Uber
you
Eats and Skip.
fucking
I know,
kidding me?
I know,
Like,
I
no,
know.
I'm not
It
doing
was
this.
so expensive, man. Uber Eats. It was like, I think it was like $35, and it was like $5 service fee, $5 taxes,
Yeah.
$7, $8 tip, and I'm like, oh, this $30 order became $50 so quickly.
And then they
Which
just fucking give themselves a tip, don't they?
I don't know, maybe.
They have to, because you're not going to give them a tip from your bed.
Right.
So,
and, like,
Yeah.
Uber,
and also,
like,
it's not even it's touchless delivery now. So they just show up and drop it off, right? If you don't see them.
Yeah, I wasn't
It's
even
just
here,
for-
man.
yeah.
Which was decent. I'm down. Like I was out getting this beer, and I saw the guy was like at my house, and I just called him like, "Yo, just like drop it on the front porch," which took way longer to explain to him than it should have. I probably said it, I don't know, at least 10 times.
10 times.
Being like, "Yo, man, just like put it on the front, like leave it there. I'm not home right now." And then he just like would just be like, "What?"
He
What do you
didn't
want me to
follow.
do? I'm like, "Man, just take it in your hand, relax your hand, let the food fall on the ground, and then walk away."
Relax your hand.
Bite the meat and let the meat slide down your throat.
yeah. It was like, it was so much harder than I thought it was gonna be. But whatever, it worked out and it was fucking good. And then I had it again today. It was still fucking good. So,
That's a good mug you got there, Will.
Another Vice I'm gonna have. That's Badlands.
That's a good cup.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I'm gonna have
That
to
was
buy one of
15
those.
bucks.
I'm gonna have to buy one of
That
those
cup?
cups.
Yeah, I think that was $15, maybe 10.
I bought one from Merit. 2 from Merit. Kenzie broke one though.
They're $9 at Merit. I just saw
Are
them
they?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is a cup 9? I don't know. I'm not really in the market for cups often.
That's
They're
bes-
like $9 for a cup.
See that branding, bro?
It's
Is
10.
that what you
ink
pay
there
for?
is?
Yeah.
Do you know what the breakdown is? Do you know what the pie chart looks like for the breakdown of the cost for something that's in your city? I'll give it to you right now.
Soda ash.
It's 3%.
seaweed.
It's 3% product and usefulness, okay?
Yeah.
It's 80% I'm supporting local on your Twitter feed and your Instagram page.
Is that what 80%?
And then it's
is?
20% or whatever's left.
That'd be
Be
103.
tweeting the branding, going, "Wow, I love Badlands," because people have never heard of it.
Yeah.
You buy it
that's
so
the cost.
You can have a tweet later.
So you can flex on
Well,
Instagram.
did you see that, man? I didn't even say shit. Joey was like, "Yo, nice cup."
That's a good cup.
That's
yeah, it's
why
a good
I bought
cup.
for that shit, man.
Yeah.
I got one on. I put a sticker on my hard hat from fucking the fuck is it? Grain and Grit.
Oh, you did?
And everyone's like, "That's a fucking cool sticker, man." Everybody does that. Everybody points
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
because that's. I honestly thought about that the other day too, because like I'm wearing my Grain and Grit sweater, and it doesn't even say brewery or beer on it. It just says Grain and Grit.
Yeah, no one knows what it is.
I think they do good branding. Like I like the way it's like good designs and shit. Like
And it works for you blue collar boys, that Grain and Grit, you know?
Did you go to Merit yesterday?
Yeah, the ball shop. So the patio isn't open yet.
There's Emerson Pub is open apparently.
I'll never go to a patio until
In COVID?
December.
In COVID, yeah.
Until December when they're all closed.
Are you still COVID?
Is your patio open?
Are you
No,
still?
It's winter.
Are you still COVID aware?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Look
I
at
mean-
the statues in the
you
backyard.
guys can't see. Maybe I'll put a picture up with the tweet storm for the show. There's 2 statues like wearing masks.
Yeah.
Which is like
As they
they're-
should.
That's
man.
amazing.
it's great. They're fitted too. It looks like they were like pinned, right? Like they cut off a bunch of the
That is
material. Or
great.
Oh, for sure. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Some-
mom definitely made it look as good as possible.
Pretty
That is
cool.
fucking amazing.
Pretty
two,
cool.
Like Will has 2 statues in the back right of his garden. Like 2, they're like 3 feet tall. Just like is it 2
Ish.
women,
No, it's a guy and a girl.
guy and a girl, and they just both
like
have
Greek style stone
yeah, they're
statue.
just sitting like this. If you can see on the video, and they just have COVID masks on.
Good for them.
Well, because I came home from
They're
something,
flattening the curve.
and I like threw it. I threw my fucking mask out, and the next thing I knew, my mom's like, "Oh, I took your mask out of the garbage and put it on the statues." I was like, "Oh."
Oh, so they have. If you had COVID, now the statues have COVID.
It was
So you
figured.
so you
You're
have.
spreading.
I've never seen you wearing a mask,
I have a mask.
but I've never seen you wearing it.
I don't wear it around, like just chilling.
Oh,
I've only seen you once a week.
I got to get a mask.
I can't wear it on the podcast.
I'm gonna get a mask from the mall tomorrow when I go. So we'll transition to my spending. I didn't spend money on almost anything last week. Stonks. That's it. But I do.
You said you had an
all my
interesting day
positions.
yesterday.
I had an interesting day. I did yesterday.
Yeah, you're like I started so hot and finished so.
Oh,
cold.
stocks. Yeah, sure. Friday. You never get good days on Friday. Everyone sells on Fridays. And I thought for sure yesterday was going to be an exception.
Friday's payday in the stock market.
No, I have no idea. There's a number of reasons. Usually the last business day before the end of the month is a Friday. That's not true, actually, but but probably something to do with meeting targets for the end of the week. I'd guess, like trying to keep your accounts in the black.
Yeah, probably. There's
I
so
don't
much
know.
shit that we don't know.
But yeah, so I lost a bunch of money yesterday, even though I thought I was going to gain a bunch of money.
You don't lose
at, like,
money unless you sell, bro.
at 11 o'clock. That's right. You don't lose unless you sell. Put it on the shirt. What else we do? I didn't spend a lot of money on shit, but I got to get my dad a Father's Day gift tomorrow. I haven't bought him one yet.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the mall tomorrow. and
Father's
get one.
Day is tomorrow, right?
So my brother. So I'm in a pickle because
oh, that's what I spent my money on too. Sorry.
yeah, I'm in a pickle because my dad's birthday is next week.
Oh,
He's got the double whammy.
So I gotta like get to like the $200 threshold probably to like make it legit, right?
Because
So
you
you're
don't
going-
expect that.
You're
No,
going
he
one.
doesn't. But
You're going one gift.
yeah, I think so. I usually do. My brother sends me a bit of money and then I just cover the rest.
Consolidate.
Yeah, so
Consolidation, I like
I'm gonna get him something tomorrow. Now the question I have for you guys is, what would you get the man who already has everything he wants? He buys everything he wants. He just goes and gets it, and he doesn't want much. Like most of the time, I go over there and see him. He's still wearing shirts he had 20 years ago.
Get him an Amazon Prime membership.
I got him a Spotify account and a Sonos for Christmas.
That's the shit. You have to get your parents into the 21st century.
Yeah.
They'll never do it themselves. So you
Yeah.
might as well gift it to them because then they might actually use it.
What do you get them then?
I don't
Maybe
know.
An iWatch.
Apple Watch.
An Apple Watch.
That's
like
not a bad idea.
$700.
Yeah, I know. You
Yeah.
can get no. Last generation's probably like 300, I think, right?
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. I've never even considered buying one. They seem completely outrageous to me.
They are outrageous.
Yeah.
I would like to get him a new iPhone because he's got an iPhone 6.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
what I had.
So I'd like
old.
to grab him a new.
Tiny.
I'd like to grab him a new
The
phone.
iPhone 6 isn't tiny. The iPhone 6 is probably like the size of this.
It's smaller than that.
Yeah.
I went from the 6 to that.
God, I miss my fucking
yeah.
iPhone, man.
So I don't know what to get him, but I'm gonna spend a little bit of money on that tomorrow, and I'm gonna buy a mask, a reusable mask, because
And then 95.
Yeah, because no, not an N95, like a cotton, like one of those ones you can put in the washing machine.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, because everywhere I want to go. Oh, I did something on something else. I'll talk about that in a sec. But everywhere I want to go, now that things are opening again, it's mask required.
Yeah.
And so I did book a haircut for next week. Which
Oh, you did?
now let me stop you
I
there.
got one too on Monday.
So let me stop
really?
you.
Like,
With
fuck.
Melissa? How the fuck?
You need one.
Oh, I fucking need
I
it.
don't need one, but it's time to like.
What are they even gonna do to your fucking hair?
By the time
Fade it.
by the
They're gonna
time
start
Thursday
fading
comes
it.
back, they're gonna be able to cut the back and everything, right?
Yeah, you're going to work on that blend again.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking
You have
do
to.
it. Yeah,
you have
do.
to. And
though.
what?
Yeah, you can
I don't-
fade it.
Oh,
You
fade
can,
this.
but it's like
Sure.
not urgent by
I'll
any
pay,
means.
whatever.
You
I'll
just
pay the
wanna
guy.
do it.
I'll pay the guy. I don't care.
Mine's fucking urgent. Like, look at this shit.
That's one of the worst
This
haircuts.
is awful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking brutal.
I kind of
really
like
bad.
it.
I can, yeah, but I got to clean it up.
Man, what the fuck is Melissa not texting me for?
You only say you
texted her.
like it.
I told her to text me when she's back.
You can't do that. You got to fucking be like, hey, man, like, I've been bugging her.
Does Melissa have a Twitter feed?
No,
have
but she's
no
fucking
idea.
we pushed her on the show hard.
We'll tag her. We'll tag her on the
She should sponsor the show.
on the post. Yeah, what's she doing? Get a haircut with Melissa.
Yeah.
Haircutsbymel.com. Right?
Exquisite Salon. I
Is
hate
that
that
the
we
show?
go to Exquisite Salon.
You guys defended it back in November.
Well, no, I like her. It is funny though. Like I'm in there, and it's like I'm so out of place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is like the reason I go there, as opposed to like, first of all, Will fucking found it, and or he was with her anyway, and then we go to this fucking place, and like it's not much more than I was paying at fucking Alley Barbers,
yeah.
Right.
and you get way more out
What
of
do
it.
you guys
like,
pay again? About $30?
30 for a
Yeah.
cleanup. It was like $20
Yeah. Something like
for
that.
just
Okay.
like a quick like whatever, you know, the edging and all that.
no length work, just some,
Yeah, well, maybe a
some-
little bit. It's
some
like
tidying.
it's a 20-minute haircut anyway, but like
Okay.
Yeah.
every time you go there, you get your shampoo, the head massage, all that shit, and then then she goes to work. It's like, okay, I'll pay for that.
Yeah.
And then we're in there, I'm sitting in the chair, and then like we start talking, and I like my voice, even if I'm trying to be quiet, everyone can hear it. My voice booms.
Yeah, you got a loud voice.
So like we're just talking about whatever, and then like I'm swearing, she's swearing. There's like all these ladies in there, just kind of like
Did you notice that no one else really seems to talk, or is that just when I'm in there?
it's
or
probably
you're
just
in
when
there?
we're in there.
Because like I'm in there, and there's other ladies around,
Like,
and like
there's a man in here.
they don't talk. They're just like sitting there getting their shit done.
Because they don't want to say anything that you might take back to the base camp.
to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, to the podcast.
Like this guy looks like he has a podcast.
This guy's a famous
podcast guy.
podcaster.
This guy's getting 100 views. 100 views though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Views. Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate
Pretty
that.
steady.
Fook. But yeah, no, like I like going there. I just like how I have a contact to get a haircut. As opposed to going there, like every time I went to this other place, like this place in Dundas, I would always go to. There would always be this weird little,
You don't have to go through booking and shit.
not even booking, but you'd just be sitting there waiting, and there would be the guy that I wanted to cut my hair, and then his coworker, and she would always be like slighted almost that
exactly,
I wasn't going to her, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I gave you a chance, and you didn't do a good job. Like when you're getting your hair cut, you got one shot.
Yeah.
If you fuck it up, I'm never going to you again.
I think
Did
you're
you
right.
say, yeah, I like it?
No.
Thanks.
I just left.
Oh, yeah.
I paid
like
and
it.
left.
Yeah,
didn't
like
say
it.
That really is like the best. If there was ever a comedy sketch about haircuts, most of it would be about how even the terrible haircuts, people are like, yeah, it looks good.
You have to. You can't just. I could
This
never
looks like
look at
shit.
someone in the face and be like, "This is what you did to me."
I used to. There was a time in my life where I had to go to a wedding. I was coming from Ottawa
Bro,
for
are you
work.
kidding me?
I was coming from Ottawa for work, and I had to get a haircut
my
in
wig up.
Ottawa because I had a wedding that I was the MC for on a Friday night. So I got the haircut Thursday night in Ottawa. It was bad haircut, and
There's really not much worse. Than
it was
a
bad.
haircut.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
one
you
side was
buzzed
too
it off.
long. Like she fucked up the back, and so I ended up messaging
just a
this.
confidence
I ended up
killer.
messaging the girl who cuts my dad's hair, and I was like, I don't know if you're around today, or like I'll come to your house, or you can come to my house. Like I need you to fix this. I have this thing at like 6:00, and it was weird because I stopped going to her. I just started going somewhere else, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like I didn't want to keep going to
So
her.
she like sees you in the street. She's like, hey, why'd you stop coming around?
I don't know. She went to my high school and stuff. She's like a year or two older than me.
Oh,
so-
like you know her.
yeah.
Oh.
So I just like stopped going to her, and so I ended up texting her like, "Listen, I need your help." And she's like, "Is this a fresh haircut or is it a fix-up job?" And I'm like, "Just said it's a fix-up job."
Oh, she's already
Yeah,
fucking on the,
yeah, she's
on
upset
the
about it.
offensive.
But I think I don't know if this is the case, but I would guess it is. Like we're probably too polite to barbers. Like barbers
Yeah.
must talk after the fact and be like, "I fucking blew that one."
100%.
Oh yeah.
They must,
Did
right?
you know that
They
it's-
must.
did you know barbering is a red seal?
Is it really?
It's a
Come
red
on, no
seal.
way.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's a red seal trade. It's 9,000 hour apprenticeship.
What?
Wow.
Something like that. I've heard
There
that,
is a
yeah.
professional association in Ontario for sure.
I'm going to look it up
Why?
right now. I'm going to look it up right now because I
well-
could be lying.
Probably because
I kind of hope you are lying.
I'm pretty sure it's a red seal trade.
I don't know if it's Red Seal, but I know there is a professional association. But there's a professional association for everything, including like Scentsy salespeople, all these other fucking pyramid scams.
Yeah, because like I guess like once there's like a group of people doing one job, someone's gonna be like, oh, let's start at a fucking association.
Some
and make
gatekeeping
money
somewhere,
that way.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hairstylist license, red seal certificate.
Wow.
What the fuck? You're
Red-
cutting
red
hair
seal.
In Ontario?
It's just a red. I don't know.
That's fucked.
Yeah, red seal trades, hairstylist.
That's got to be the biggest like
What's the difference-
smallest gap between an amateur and a professional.
Yep. Hairstylist is a trade regulated by the Ontario College of Trades and Apprenticeship Act 2009.
OCT
In Ontario,
regulates that, eh?
the
Wow.
trade is part of the Interprovincial Red Seal program.
Oh my god.
That's fucking nuts.
Imagine
I'm gonna-
like, what do you do? I'm an apprentice.
I'm an
Yeah.
apprentice barber.
Barber.
Oh.
Well, I'm not going to you.
I'll push back on the smallest gap between amateur and pro. I've had a couple amateur haircuts in my time from roommates. Kenzie did it. Kenzie cuts hair like you would whack a pinata, like you blindfolded and not worried about fucking messing it up. Right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
unbelievable. And then she's like, "Oh, it looks fine." Next day, I'll have a shower, come out of the shower, look at it in the mirror. It's oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
you-
always
yeah.
the true test. Is like because when you leave, they're like they're putting product in it,
Yeah,
they're having it
yeah,
the
yeah.
way they want it. But then once you get out of the shower and you really look at it and it's dry, you're like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with this?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
After it doesn't look like right out of the shop. Like,
Yeah.
Once
You
you,
need-
take the fucking wrapper off.
Yeah, and you need to be able to like, especially for us, like when I was earlier in my career, not that I'm late in my career now, but earlier in my career, I always wanted to make sure that my hair was like done to go to work, right? Like I had pretty
So
short
was
hair, it was
I.
pretty easy. But
Yeah, same.
now that I'm a little older, and like before COVID, obviously, we all had long hair. I went this route with mine during the pandemic. You guys didn't, but
Getting a little gray, Joe.
I'm getting a lot gray.
Dude, I had gray in my beard.
yeah,
I had to shave.
it's gonna start coming faster and faster. Do you know how gray hair works? There's some
Age.
yeah, but no, but there's some like cellular
Yes.
level thing where like a cell or something
cortisol.
like this dies or stops being able to produce that color, and then the cells around it also have the same problem. That's why you get patches of gray and like your beard, your hair. It's like mine, like here is gray, here is
So
gray.
your body's just starting to die.
Basically, yeah.
What?
That's one way to think about it, yeah.
Joey's starting to rot.
But no, the haircut thing, the amateur and the gap between amateur and pro, I gave my barber, Westdale Barber, the best haircut I've ever had. I would recommend.
You gave him that
No,
one?
no, I would get. I gave that guy. I gave that guy shit all the time for like the 10 years I've been going there about how he charges $40.
That's a lot.
$40. You get the straight razor at the back and the
Nice.
sides if you want.
Important.
It's nice.
Important.
Always a good time.
Such a simple upsell.
Really.
Only-
hot wax and the straight
It's
blade on the back is massive.
calm down, sexism police, but it's a men only barbershop. So there's never any girls in there.
Oh, like they only cut men's hair.
Only cuts men's hair.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that because
Not at
they
all.
have women-only salons.
Yeah, not at all.
We want that.
And there's women only salon right above him.
Yeah.
They share a laundry room actually.
That's
the two of
fine.
them.
That's kind of one of those things.
And,
That, yeah, that's important. I think.
It's great, and you talk about a lot of stuff in there. Like I've had a lot of good conversations there over the last 10 years. And that guy, like the floor of the haircut is at like 8 or 9 out of 10. Like he never does a bad job.
Oh, okay.
He's close to where I work, and I always gave him shit about, I can't believe you charge $40. Like anytime I do any fundraising for Movember, I hit him up. Fundraising for Wayside House,
yeah.
I hit him up. Like, you are gonna give me some of this money back, Phil.
Yeah,
you are gonna
yeah.
give it back to me
True.
some way, somehow. But man, I have never been happier than booking my haircut last week and paying that $40 to go.
Yeah.
And so next week I'm going. I'm psyched about it. I'm excited to see Phil and Nick. It's gonna be good. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate some of the like experiences associated with the costs they have in their life, whether it's grocery stores. We talked about malls. I don't think a lot of people are going to go back to malls personally, but grocery stores is a big one. I think a lot of people like grocery shopping, especially Saturday morning. You see all the people you know.
Man, it was good. Like it was good in a sense. Like there was definitely a silver lining to it. Like it slowed everything down. Like now, like what you just said. Like I am excited. Like I got a haircut appointment on Monday. I'm excited just to go. I like going to get my haircut anyways, but some people look at it just like, oh, I got to go fucking get my haircut.
I hate it.
Like it's just another thing you got to do. But now it's like everything's been stopped. Like you lost like not lost, but like everything was put on pause. You don't have access to anything anymore. Now I'm like excited. Yeah, like I don't mind going to the grocery store. I don't mind going to this and that. Like
Not at all.
like I'm excited to go do this shit. Like I'm excited to get my haircut because I look like a fucking trash heap. But like I'm also excited to go.
Yikes.
Just go do it. Right, just to go. It's like something to do.
I don't miss that.
No,
Really?
No, I don't miss grocery shopping, and I definitely don't miss going to get my haircut. I hate it.
You miss the gym?
No.
Me neither.
The gym,
I do not miss. The
I
gym.
love going to the gym, but like I said to your sister a bunch of times, unless Good Life comes up with some way to get me in there that works with whatever percentage of the time I'm going to be working from home from here on out, and also allows me to get all the equipment that I need used. Like, I'm going to spring for a squat rack, a power rack.
Yeah,
That's all I'm missing. I'll just get the bench and probably 200 pounds of plates, and off you go, right?
Yeah, like
We
I
talked
feel.
about this yesterday.
I feel like noticeably happier not going to the gym. Like the gym was something I just always did. Like I'm gonna like. I still.
You're going to be happier not going, but are you going to be happier with, like, the result?
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm not. Like I'm not working out.
No, I know, but still. Like, there's, like, that.
I feel good. My body feels good. My body did not feel good when I was in the gym bench pressing 250 pounds.
Is that a gym problem or a you problem?
Which is what I was doing in the gym.
Yeah.
It's a you problem.
Yeah. But like I don't no, but it's also I didn't like the demographic of the. I don't like the gym guys anymore. They're annoying
The
to me.
clientele.
I don't like them. The gym chicks I don't really like. Like the fucking
you and me both, buddy. You and me
They're
both.
the equal. They're like the gym bros and the gym chicks are just kind of like.
Yeah.
Like what else are we gonna talk about?
Instagram only.
You know, like what?
Yeah.
Like when we're hanging out, I'm hanging out. All they want to talk about is working out. And they're like, the amount of times like, why don't you be a personal trainer? I'm like, well, you should probably get to know me, and you'll understand why I'm not a personal trainer.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I don't fucking fuck with that, and I'm not Mr. Positive. I'm Mr. Real.
I still do like laughing at the personal training staff at Good Life. How
With
they're
the
all
little gut.
they're all kind of chunky.
Makes no sense to
Oh
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
do as I say, not as I
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Those who can't do, teach. Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so odd. And like,
Those
man,
who
and the
can't
thing is,
teach do
too-
personal training.
Well, the guys that are in shape, or the guys and girls, sorry, that are in shape, that are personal trainers, they always go further.
Yeah.
They don't just be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
They always do something.
They're competing or something.
But like, I hate that too, though.
Competing?
I hate that, like, no, well, not competing, whatever. But I mean, like, I hate how every single personal trainer is also a fucking. They can give you a diet plan. They can do this and that. Every single personal trainer is also like a certified quote unquote of like 40 other things.
Yeah.
you know?
That's how you branch out in that you have to get certificates.
Yeah,
But
but
it's like,
none of those are Red Seal though.
No,
That's
exactly.
a guarantee.
No, no.
It's all fucking garbage.
They're just like hoping to upsell on their current clientele. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can put you. Anyone can put you together a diet plan. Why would you pay for that? There's so many online for free
People-
everywhere.
So we have been battling at 617 about the diet plan that Kenzie wants to go on probably 40% of the time, and 60% of the time she thinks it's too much.
Too restrictive.
Yeah, and so
Kenzie's fucking
I tell
hilarious.
her like, and Will, I've seen you eat like this before too, but like when I was like 23, all I was eating basically was eggs, ground beef, and some vegetables every meal, every day, without exception.
Yeah, sweet
that
potato
was
and chicken. That was all.
I wasn't even eating. I wasn't even eating
was
sweet
fuel.
potato.
It
Yeah,
was just fuel,
That's
not
it. You're just
food.
eating for
Fuel.
power. And like I look back now, like obviously like the three of us are getting a little older, but I think probably still anyone sitting here is more cut and more in shape than almost anyone else in their age demo. But if you look back at pictures of you when you were like 23, 24, it's impressive
Yeah.
how
Not
cut
me.
you were, right?
Not me.
Really?
I'm way better
Man,
right now.
sometimes I see
Right now I'm in
pictures
good
when I was
shape.
like 23, 24 when I really fucking cared, when I was single, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the driving
See, this
force
is the,
behind
this
it.
is the difference right now between you and I. I
Yeah,
am single, so
yeah.
I'm like fucking opposite.
That's the driving force behind
True.
it. And
Yeah, you have to.
like, but just like unbelievable how much discipline it takes. But the point that I was making is about diet plans. Like Will said, anybody can, even people who have no like understanding of macros, for example, they could still give you a diet plan. Like anyone who's been like
Hey,
around.
chicken and rice,
Yeah,
and that's it.
Or like,
I know,
or like
yeah.
stop eating pizza, stop
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah.
beer,
Yeah.
stop. Like you'll be
It's
way better off
that
if you
easy.
just do that. If you
It's
just do
that
that.
easy.
Most people don't forget. Like we don't do this, but a lot of people still drink pop every day or every 2 days.
So weird.
I don't get it. I honestly,
Remember
that
last time
man.
I had a pop.
I don't get
years
it.
and years and
I'm
years.
just seeing like I'm hanging out, whatever, and like I'm just sitting there looking at this. These guys just having a pop, like just no reason. I'm like
Pop on ice.
I'm like, is it even like it's okay?
It doesn't even taste good.
It's like it's just
It
like,
burns your mouth.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's like a little stupid vice, right? Like I see a guy at work. There's one guy that I talk about all the time. He's like almost retired. He's the first guy I ever met. I talked about him last week when I was just bitching about work, griping. But he was the first guy I ever met, and all he does is he smokes darts, he drinks a lot, and then at first break, 9:30 in the morning,
like
Coke.
Bro, have a
AM.
coffee, man.
He's having a
Relax.
Coke. No, he doesn't
Anything,
drink
yeah.
coffee. He drinks pop.
Worse for you.
And the other thing too is like
You're just drinking sugar.
you can honestly pick like one thing that you cannot give up, and you'll be fine continuing to do it. Like for me, it was always like my coffee is a dessert.
I'm never giving up coffee.
It's all sugar. I put chocolate milk in it when it's available.
Really?
Yeah, Nesquik.
Oh, I've
I
done
have
that
in
Oh,
there.
I don't do that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I refuse to buy like morning blend coffee. It's got to be like French vanilla,
Oh, really?
almond
Fuck
and hazelnut.
that. I
Oh fuck
hate
yeah.
that.
Oh, so
shit.
you're one of those.
Oh,
eh?
yeah.
I
big time,
cannot do that. It's too much.
But-
I like a nice little
But
bit bitter.
if that's all you're doing though, like
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
have your
yeah.
vices too.
Yeah, of
Like,
course, I don't have any
you know,
vices.
Totally.
I don't have a single vice.
This is really like at the core of all these discussions about whether or not people should feel bad about being overweight. Should they feel bad? You shouldn't feel bad, but you should be trying to make it yourself.
be aware.
You should make
Aware,
yourself
be
better, right?
aware,
Try
for
to get
sure.
better. Try to get better.
You can like that's the thing. And
What I
like,
won't entertain, sorry to cut you off. What I won't entertain is people who say it's okay to be overweight.
Never in my
It
life.
ain't.
Yeah,
It
no.
ain't.
It's unhealthy.
Yeah, and you're
That's the
seeing it
only
with
reason
COVID now
This
too.
is the only reason I would ever attack anyone. Like I would never attack someone, and like I would never be like condescending about someone being overweight. But I would be annoyed if you're justifying being overweight. Like,
Yeah.
all you have to do is it's easy. It's not easy. It takes a tremendous amount of discipline, like we're saying. But
Yeah.
it's like,
Over a long period of time.
but it's not even about.
Yeah.
It's not about. It's not superficial. It's nothing like that. It's for me. It's strictly health. Like if I say I'll date someone or whatever, and then they don't work out, I'm like, okay, fine, but you have to eat well. You have to at least
Yeah.
be like some sort. You have to think about your health.
I don't
in
think
some
I
regard.
don't think I could date anyone that wasn't like active at all.
you can't.
You know?
You can't.
No.
Because it's also like, yeah, like you don't go to the gym if you don't do anything. You don't eat well. Like, yeah, you're hot because you're young, or like
It's-
So
whatever.
what do you do?
It's
You
gonna-
just
it's not gonna
Netflix
last.
every day.
But it's not gonna
Exactly.
last. You
Get home
can't.
from work and
the,
Netflix
like
until
the
you
engine,
sleep. Like,
the engine
yeah.
burns. Your engine might burn 3,000 calories that you had between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Yeah.
every weekend until you're 25,
Yeah,
and then
it
and then
slows.
it's only gonna burn
I know.
3/4 of it.
Yeah.
My
and
mom
then you're 10
always,
pounds heavier.
always has been like so on to that. She's like, friends are gonna start getting fat.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, just
Yeah.
watch the girls. They're
Yeah,
gonna start getting fat.
for sure.
Because like they drink this as much as we do. And
Funny
they
that it
don't
comes
do
from your
anything.
mom too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did
She's
your
always
mom-
she's always
No,
said that.
Will's mom, honestly, is like, she's got it. She's figured.
She's the oracle. She's the oracle.
Yeah, like she's like always biking, always doing this. Well, you got to do this. You got to stay in shape.
Yeah,
your
mom's pretty thin.
But she's very like modest
She
about
doesn't
it.
sit in him,
She
like,
just says it
every
like
day.
everything's like a lesson. She's just like, you got to do this and you got to do this. Like, okay, Jane.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like successful lady, in shape, like good sense of humor, everything. It's
Pretty
like,
well
okay,
balanced
Jane.
life, I think.
And then Jane was, she's fucking.
I don't think we've gone one episode without talking about vices. And vices, the word has definitely been in every single podcast.
It's gonna be in the podcast later too during the Disney stock review. Spoiler.
Is it?
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh, you already a little leak, eh?
Little leak there for you. A little teaser.
Okay.
Little teaser for you there. Have a little taste. Come here.
You came here with some notes, eh?
I got one note for the Disney review, front and back.
Have anything bad happen
Well, when I did the Spotify one, I had my computer in front of me, but today I don't, obviously, and I wasn't gonna bring it, so I just wrote a bunch of shit down.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the Spotify one. I think I listened to it though. That was with Jordan, right?
No, that was Mike's Adidas one.
Yeah, but
You were on the Spotify one.
I was, yeah.
And now Spotify, since the Spotify review, it's up 30%. So if you had listened to that podcast
so maybe
and
I'm
bought the stonk,
Brokers app.
I have Spotify in the Brokers app.
I don't.
So do I. How about like 10 things?
Nice, that's pretty good.
66 is dragging me down. It's my gas play.
What? You went energy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yo, I'm almost up $1,000.
We should talk about our
Let's get
fake
into
portfolios.
What are you guys saying? I'll do the.
Check the friends list. I don't have my list in front of me obviously because my phone's doing the camera, but I think I'm up almost $2,000.
I'm definitely down.
$2,000.
Close to it.
I'm only up 1,000. Okay, leaderboards. What is it? Top list.
Yeah.
Then you gotta go. Joey's in first. You're minus 0.02%.
That's probably just today or yesterday.
Oh, is that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know what it is.
Sorry,
I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah.
Joey's
Feels pretty
up
good.
You're up 4.25.
Nice.
I'm up 3.5, and Will, you're up 0.3.
So that percentage is just on the percentage of like
The investing.
your investments.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
not
your
accounting your
overall
cash. Yeah.
Oh, I don't really know
Not
the
accounting
difference.
for your.
I'm
dry
only
powder.
up $85 on my 25 grand. So we started with 25 grand, and then I literally like bought $24,000 worth of.
What do you
stock.
have? What's your composition and what's your rationale behind it?
I have Alphabet, which is
Google,
Amazon, Apple, Disney, Walmart, and Phillips 66. And Phillips 66 is like my gas play. It's like pipelines and refining, and it's down 11%.
Why Phillips 66? Why not like Husky Energy?
Because Berkshire Hathaway bought Phillips 66.
Okay.
Obviously.
Following good fucking mentors
Oh,
there.
Warren and Chuck there.
Yeah.
Doing work for you.
But my
Actually,
Amazon has
pretty
been
broad
killing it. Apple's been killing it, but that's about it. Disney's down 7.5%. Walmart's down like almost 4%.
What are you sitting on?
Me? Well, how much money?
Well,
I'm up $917.
What stonks? Give me your stonks and your
I got
strategy.
Adidas, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Ford, Microsoft, Netflix, and Nike.
This is the first edition of a new segment on this podcast
What we got?
called Talk Your Book.
Yeah.
So
We come up with a new segment every week. and none of them
I
hold.
know.
It's your turn to talk your book.
So yeah, I got
We do it once a month.
Adidas I bought, and Adidas has just been constantly killing it for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't understand why, but it's just been on
What
the
is
up.
it? What is the ticker for Adidas?
Adidas.
No, it
Well,
can't be
it's a
that.
ticker. It's only got to be.
Is it
like,
80? Yeah, but it doesn't actually say. That's the thing I don't like about this app is the
It's not
tickers are hard to
show
navigate.
stock.
It's not good for that.
Yeah.
I can go on the stocks app, but I thought that Adidas was like a German listing or something.
Well, that's what I was
I think
saying
it
a
was.
couple weeks ago
But
that you can only get futures here. So maybe on the German market you can actually get the stock itself, but I'm not sure.
But yeah, no.
Mike's the expert. So
Adidas AG.
Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the lucky guy, and I bought Ford unfortunately because of the riots. But it was one of those things you have to consider. Like there's out there in the States,
this was the
they are-
police car play.
they are fucking up cop cars.
Yeah, that's
they're
jokes
all
that you thought
Fords.
of that. I never thought
I'm
of
just
it.
like it's unfortunate that, but like if you're investing, I'm thinking like
Is
you
there-
have to think about the variables like that.
Yeah. That's
And I'm like,
jokes.
well, they're fucking up cop cars, and Ford's gonna be fucking licking their chops.
Is there a is there a company who makes statues of Confederate legends?
I don't.
Because I think they're going to be needing a few of those probably in
Yeah.
the States pretty soon.
Hey, you think they're gonna be replacing those?
Hard to say for sure.
Do you know
Hard to say for sure.
The stock. There's been two stocks that surged on the riots. One is up. I think it's up over like 100%. It's Taser. The people who make tasers.
Wow, what?
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Really?
Never even
They make
thought about
tasers
that.
and body cams for cops.
But they're deleting all police forces from existence right now.
well, they're
are they
defunding
not?
them. So how are they going to afford tasers?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Is that actually going through defunding police? Is that
In
I don't
Minneapolis,
fucking
they talked about like defunding is the wrong term. I fucking hate this topic for the podcast, by the way.
know.
Yeah,
It does
so do I.
suck. Yeah, it's
so
it's
we'll
pretty-
just drop it right now.
Well, then there's another stock about it. It's called ShotSpotter, which I've been on my watch list for a while.
Shot spotter?
Yeah, so it's like it'll like be like on a pole, like there's like a little microphone, like a fucking computer. or whatever,
Ooh,
on a pole,
nice.
and it hears where the gunshots are, and it can pinpoint them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It sends alerts to like the cop station. being
I like
I've
that.
heard of
I
that.
like that.
They have those. Well, they obviously have them in like projects and shit like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
I've heard
know-
of that shit? That's fucking
But-
crazy.
and it's like they lease the software to the companies or to the cities, and it's like $300 or $400 a year. or
Software as a service.
It's
scalable,
fucked, man. Yeah.
easy.
something. Yeah.
Do you know what I really want to get some of? And the city of Hamilton does this too. I can't remember if it's called. It's either called Shark or Dolphin. And this thing basically is what you see on traffic lights. So the traffic lights have these cameras now that you see, right? Not for ticketing.
yeah.
They're so the city
Statistics?
says the city says they're for statistics. But if you just go
Right.
on the Dolphin website, it tells you all the services they provide with those boxes,
It's like
including
the-
but not limited to.
So legally, they have to be transparent, but they just don't advertise. Like they're
they
not
don't
going
have to be transparent.
What do you mean?
The company.
No, but they have no. I mean, like they can put them up, but it's up to you to find out what it is. Like they're not going to tell you what that
Right,
camera is,
right,
but
right,
like,
right.
but all the
So the city
information's there
says-
if you're going to look.
Well, the city says it's for traffic count, which there's many ways to take traffic count that don't involve a camera and a Dolphin
you got a guy
software
sitting
piece.
over a bridge with a ticker.
or like
see
or
those
like
things
those
on the strips
strips
in the road,
strips. That's what
right?
they use in bike lanes too to measure bike
Strips-
traffic.
You ever see like this? Looks like a long thin like rope or like a hose going across
Yeah.
the street, and you drive over.
It measures basically
You
like
ever seen that? You've definitely
Every-
seen
well,
it.
maybe
you
I just
have-
never know.
It
I've
measures,
definitely
it
done it.
measures like the weight of your car, right, or the speed you're traveling, or whatever, and then it catches you on another rope down the road. So it
Yeah.
tells you like how fast cars are going in that area.
It
for
legit looks
example.
just like this.
Yeah, that's it. That's
I've
it.
just honestly definitely never noticed it.
So these Dolphin things actually do a number of different. They perform a number of different features. One of them is facial recognition.
That's not.
Another is picking off text messages.
What really?
What?
Yes.
When you're driving, like, you
Yes.
just snipe it.
like picking off the communication. Like you send a text, and instead of it going right to the phone, whatever,
Well, it hits the receptor first.
the box
and then-
gets
oh
it
my
too,
God,
which is
that's
crazy.
fucked.
So I don't know if the city is doing all that stuff, but the service is
So I can't
available.
afford it.
Service is available, and so I want to get something like that, especially as like
Is
the
that not like entrapment or something
well
like
as
that?
the panopticon grows, right?
That's
What?
a great
Yeah,
word.
yeah. Let's go. I
The pan-
don't even.
the
I've
pan-
never even
A
heard of that.
panopticon is like it's the way jails are set up, where like one guard is like in the middle of a round, a round room where there's cells on the outside.
what
So,
is it, the
one
pinnacle?
guard
Is
can
the
watch a bunch
pinnacle?
of different people.
in the center.
Yeah. So the
fuck did you call it?
panopticon.
A panopticon?
Panopticon, yeah.
Sounds
So-
like a fucking transformer.
I don't know. We might talk about movies and
Up next.
Transformers later too.
Up next on whatever RC Wars, the Panopticon
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
on Cager.
Panopticon is an interesting concept because we're living in something closer and closer
Hey, you got any beer, man?
to this.
You crushed that, eh?
You want one?
Yeah. Well, yeah. At this
I only
point-
got one left here.
No,
You
you only got one.
Yeah, you can have it.
Laker Lager.
I don't know what is it. Is it Laker? It's Firestone
That's
Lager.
not.
This is courtesy of Ginweed, who left these at my house the other night. Yeah. So, the Panopticon, you're living in something closer and closer to it, right? Like everything you send now in your texts, do you think any of it's safe, or can everyone get
I
that?
assume.
I want to buy a company that can do that, and we talked a bit about this with Ring, right? Like, give me a company that has all those capabilities, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not going away. That's
No.
only going to grow and grow and grow.
Unless like the government's like, yeah, we can't do this shit.
the
anymore.
government wants to do it more.
I know exactly. But
Yeah,
until like they might get to a point where they're like, oh fuck, man, we can't be doing this deep on people.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I don't know. I agree. And so like going back to like what you said before, you said you wanna get one of these companies. Does that mean you want to own it in like your stock portfolio?
yes.
Oh, okay. Do
And
you
I don't know.
who
I
it
don't know
is?
where to start. I'm not sure.
It is one of those things. You have to-
Amazon is the easiest one.
I'm never gonna buy another stock that isn't a technology company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Never. I don't
That's
give
what
a
I meant.
fuck. I'm not buying a construction company anymore. I'm not buying any of
Dude,
that
we
shit.
talked about
Dude, help
this.
me out, man.
We
Fuck.
talked about this a little while ago about how like the S&P was down and like 99 out of 100 stocks were down in the S&P. In the same vein, the FANG stocks, like plus Spotify, plus a few of the other like up and comers, those guys on an average day make up something like 70% of the value of the NASDAQ.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
And so, like, I when people are like, oh, yeah, no, I bought an ETF. Like, oh, yeah, what's an ETF? Any ETF you buy, this is what I bought last week. Any ETF you buy now has to have Amazon, Facebook,
There's so
Google.
much Apple in
It
it.
has to. It has to.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Apple. You have to have that stuff. If you don't,
Yeah.
you're just throwing money away.
Oh
You're
yeah.
throwing it away.
It's so look at how fast these companies became trillion-dollar companies.
Easy.
Like maybe not like super fast, but like you look at like Caterpillar, Ford. Ford is like 150 years old or like 120 years old,
Yeah.
and it's like a few bill, like maybe like 20, 30 bill. I don't know, but
It's
it's
the
not
margins. The
that
margins.
crazy.
They
Exactly.
don't have them.
And the scalability, like how much real estate, how much effort does it cost to build a car plant? So much, you know,
A lot.
Like, compared to like Google. I mean, yeah, sure, Apple like actually builds and sells products and shit, but they have way more shit going on than just like the iPhone and like shit like that, you know? It's like the businesses that are scalable are the ones that are going to like multiply in the future, I think. And everyone wants their life to be easier. Everyone is just gonna like you're never gonna eliminate Amazon from people's lives, you know? Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. I wouldn't buy Facebook, but like it seems naive to me to buy like even I don't know, like, yes, there's safer stocks, like you buy like Johnson & Johnson, shit like that, but it's just not gonna have the kind of growth that
I wouldn't buy any individual like household product stock. I own like a substantial amount of this ETF XHC, which is like healthcare ETF. I think it has like a little bit of Johnson & Johnson among
Probably,
other things.
yeah.
But I think at this point, the only two stocks I would buy on their own without any hesitation, tech and defense.
Yeah, you'd buy defense.
That's
too,
the
yeah.
list. That's the list.
What's defense like?
Military stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I
fucking
mean, yeah.
what's the big one everyone talks about? I can't remember the name now. It's
There's,
escaping me.
Army.
The Lockheed Martin.
The Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, that's the one I would. That's the one I would get.
Is that like private military?
Yes.
Well, they get-
But they have
there's
government
only, like-
contracts.
Well, they have.
I know,
to.
but it's
yeah.
but man, that's like a dark, different world.
But
It's
who cares?
private. No, I'm just saying. It's just like interesting to me. Like they have like your country's military.
Low key,
But then
man.
you got the contractors on the side. Like
Look.
how do you put that together?
Here's something
But
for
you
you.
don't, though.
We just
no,
talked
no,
about.
no. I mean, how do you run a private military? Do you know?
They're
what I'm
all
saying?
ex-military.
They're all
guys.
ex-cops,
it's
ex-military.
like
Yeah.
if you watch shows, like you see, like so. For example, I like the show a lot. Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, yeah.
They got like it's like back in the 20s, but they go, we got guys, like we got soldiers like working for like crime families,
Yeah.
and they're like guys that served in the war.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how they make their money. They go and like so that's what private military does.
What
no,
about-
like so private military, like the contractors at least, because like the U.S. government doesn't build their own planes and shit.
No,
Their own
Like
tanks, their own weapons.
yeah, they don't build
anything.
any of that shit. They contract it all out, so then they needed someone to like build like those fucking fighter jets and shit.
The things
so,
that
like,
fucking break the sound barrier and go
Yeah.
to the ozone layer.
so like Lockheed
Absolutely
Martin does that.
insane.
So there's like what, like one or two companies that even builds those jets. So like as soon as like the budget gets released for like their defense spending, you know where so much of it is going right
Meanwhile,
away.
we keep pissing away money on Bombardier. That's who's making our shit for the longest time.
Yeah.
Bombardier,
They're
Bombardier.
just- they're dying. Here's something for you. Since we just talked about the military and private police, what do you think is going to happen if cities disband their police forces? Do you think people are going to start paying for private security? Like, for sure they will, right?
This is the thing.
They
that,
have to.
that's-
Who's gonna equip
this is
those
the-
guys?
This is the thing that like over there, like the amount, like the mass of people that are arguing against police. I get it, but like you guys are not thinking this through.
Yeah.
No.
Like there is so much more to this than like, oh we just need to defund the police. It's like no,
I agree.
You need to expand the fucking like the acceptance of. You can't just be like we'll hire anyone.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck what the, like you need to like
the barrier
really
of entry needs to be higher.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the requirements have
Thank
to be
you.
more stringent, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm fucking hungover and I can't think right.
You're there. The idea's there.
Yeah, you got it.
But like that's the thing. They're just like we need to get rid of police. Like no, that would be absolutely insane.
But like,
you get rid of police, man. Crime is just gonna be.
It will, for sure.
They
Crime
are-
is gonna be like next
Oh.
to breathing.
so many people, like so many criminals right now are like, yeah, defund the police.
Yeah.
Do
Oh
it.
yeah.
Do
Like,
it.
well, what? No repercussions now?
Yeah.
The thing I think I agree with that the protests, I don't know if the protesters want this or like there's some minority groups that want this. I agree with it in either case. Working with vulnerable populations, like with Wayside House, addicts, right? There's a couple of cops I know. One is on the board with me, and one of the things he says all the time is police are trained to do like a fairly broad scope of things. And so naturally, when you're
It was
a
a
cop,
shit job.
yeah, naturally when you're a cop, you're gonna have like a sort of a broad swath of, like a jack of all trades, right, so to speak. You're gonna be good at some of those things and not as good at others. Like everyone has their natural skill sets, and so one of the things we talk about on the board sometimes, and to our CEO's credit, he's on a lot of these committees for the city and the province talking about like fixing this problem. Something here in the States too. Now that this conversation is more public and more wide ranging. The first person who responds to like someone in crisis shouldn't be a cop. It should be like someone who's got training in that area of expertise. Like if you got someone who's like an addict or something, or someone who's having like a psychotic episode, which by the way, I wish it wasn't the case, but most of the time in these police brutality incidents, people are in crisis one way or another. Like maybe they don't know they're addicted to substances, but they're on them at the time.
Yeah,
maybe they don't know they're addicted to, whatever, but they're on them at the time. Maybe they don't know they're having an anxiety or panic episode or manic episode or whatever, but they are. And so the cops get there, and unfortunately for the cop, if there's a struggle with a police officer because someone is manic or having a hard time, the cop has to assume the struggle is going to end with the gun being the pivot point.
Right.
And so the cop has to act a certain way. You're putting them in a tough spot by making them the first person to respond. Let someone else go there first and diagnose it for you. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you make a decision about what's next.
But
that's one thing I agree with.
I definitely agree with that, but I don't think you can just take cops out of the...
You can't.
Because
yeah.
But I think you have to send a cop also. Like if my neighbor is like going crazy or something and I call the cops and a fucking like therapist shows up, I'm going to be like, "Bro, send a fucking cop here." Like I called the cops cuz like this guy's going off.
Dude,
like the therapist isn't going to she'll talk them down, and then they'll be able to be like, "Yeah, we need backup, we need cops."
You need an enforcer there.
But like that therapist isn't going to stop that guy from like
you need to have
somebody who can use violence.
Have a fucking
That's basically the answer.
You need to have a repercussion there if something goes wrong. Like this is like, I'm sorry to do this, but it's just like exactly how hockey is.
Hockey.
You got a guy on the ice, and some guy's fucking going off. Like you said, so say there's this your neighbor over here is going psycho. That's the guy on the ice who's being a fucking dick and he's starting shit.
Yeah.
He's starting shit with like your best player. So that's your best player is your therapist. That's like the guy you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix problems. He's the guy who's scoring goals. Mm-hmm. Then you got me. I'm the underpaid guy. I'm out there, but you're thinking before you fuck with that guy.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm the cop there. I'm in this situation because I'm technically an enforcer. I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm an answer to a problem every time. You want to start shit? Yeah. I'm out there on the ice. So at least before the psycho guy makes a move, he sees I'm out there. So he sees me. He's just like, maybe I shouldn't hit this guy because I know if I hit this guy's coming in to fuck me up.
So there's a word for this in social situations and in policing too, and it's deterrent. This is why you see speed traps. This is why you see so speed traps. Any police officer who's speaking frankly with you will tell you that speed traps are not strictly there to catch speeders. They're there to remind people that if you speed, you might get caught.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's so weird. It's such a psychological thing, because like even they have those.
It's brilliant, is
like
what it is.
Not the speed traps, but like the things that show how fast you're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it goes from like an 80 to a 50 at Coots, and there's
a
that thing, it's like everyone slows down because they see that number.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's not a cop there. They see that number,
But
and
there
they're like,
is the odd time there's a cop.
sometimes,
there.
yeah.
And that
Once in a while,
guy,
yeah.
he's not even in his fucking car. He just walks out in the middle of the road and just does this. He's not even.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a radar gun. He's just looking at the sign.
They just know.
He goes 80 and a 50. You stop. You're like, fuck. Like I've seen guys get pulled over there.
Same.
It's hilarious.
Same, get nabbed a few times.
Yeah.
Hilarious to see it because I don't speed through there. I go, maybe I'm going 60. I'm like, oh, I got to get down to 50.
Yeah, same. Oh,
Just because I've seen it.
Yeah, that's like the one area that I'll actually go the speed limit.
Because it's blind. You turn that corner around Coots and you can't see but the bridge going into Mac's parking lot there. Once you see that, the cop has already picked you off if you're going too fast.
It's like the
almost
most
entrapment.
It's the most passive enforcement ever. It's so brilliant.
It's effective.
It's brilliant.
You know what I saw on the news a couple of years ago? Actually, this person they were speeding they live in the country somewhere, and it was 60 on this country road, and people were speeding by their house constantly. They bought an old cop car, like one of those old decommissioned ones.
And just put it on the
painted it like a cop car.
Those people.
Painted it like a cop car without
exactly
the lights,
where it
and
is,
parked it on the edge of their property,
brilliant,
perpendicular to
Great.
the road.
Good.
And they said
good.
It has made a world of difference. Everyone slows down now.
Everyone slows down. And man, I know exactly where it is too. I know exactly the thing, and it's in my head. I'm like,
On 6, you said?
cop? Like, no, it isn't.
On 6?
Like coming off of 5, I think. Right?
I just read this in the news. I have no idea where it was.
You're coming off.
there's
If you
a
come off
couple of them
Highway
on 6.
5, like not onto not Harvest, the one before it.
Fallsview?
No, like off Highway 5.
Oh, okay.
You know where you turn left and you go into Harvest? The one before that, you can take like the scenic route.
Yeah, it's Rock Chapel Road.
Is that what it is? Yeah. There, they have one, and it's just like I'm driving by like these
True.
motherfuckers, man.
But like, I mean,
It's
smart.
painted like the OPP.
It is
as well,
smart.
like
It
the
is
old
smart.
Crown Victorian.
Yeah.
And it's
Those
just
guys are within their rights to do that. They're not
no,
impersonating.
absolutely,
cops or
and it's
anything.
not. And
Also, cop cars haven't looked like that for 10 years.
But
Yeah, I know,
but you just- but
exactly.
it's in your
Yeah.
head. It's muscle memory, and it's that is more like. Unfortunately, that's more effective than those. Slow down, those yellow signs.
yeah.
Like that's not. Those aren't effective. You're always looking at those.
You know-
Looking at those is a joke.
Man, you know what
Put
works
a
in
Crown Victoria there. Everyone's like, oh shit.
the Crown
Yeah.
Vics work. The other thing I think that I hated
You have to
probably
trick
5 years
humans.
ago or 6 years ago when we moved up to the mountain there, but the thing I hated then and now I realize is unbelievably effective is those harsh speed bumps. Like people just will not drive fast over those things,
And-
and they're every like 150 yards ish, something
Man,
like
where is
that.
this?
People are too
Up where we
nice.
live.
People
Oh,
are
really?
too
Yeah.
nice to.
Around the
People are
park
too
and
nice
around
to
the
humans,
school.
man. You're too nice to humans. You have to do that shit
Yeah.
because humans will not listen.
Oh, I speed all the time.
They'll defy
I- you know,
everything all the time.
I'm good for like 5 or 10 over invariably, and
Always.
if I'm in a
I
hurry,
never go on the speed.
yeah, if I'm in a hurry, I'm going
if
faster.
someone's doing the speed limit, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
If I'm like,
Yeah.
you're doing 40
Pissed.
and a 40, let's go.
You're going 40 to 40. Stay home. Just stay home. You're never gonna get where
They're
you're going.
always 80.
They're always 80. They're
80
always
years old.
So old.
We should
Oh, I hate
we should pivot to a story I didn't share with you guys. I should have now that I'm thinking about it, but it's relevant to this podcast, especially because of our age demo and
Pivot.
because of basketball term, and because of the content we talk about. So, Will, you talked a bit about how you got SPSX, right? SPXS.
Yeah.
So,
The 3 times bear.
right. So, there's a story that I heard because of another podcast I listened to, the Acquirers podcast. And
Listen to a lot of podcasts, huh?
I got a lot of time working at home, so I got shit on all day long, basically. And so one of the things this podcast talks
I'd be
about,
alone with my own thoughts. I can be alone with someone else's.
yeah, they talk about a lot of value investing
Joey's got a
stuff.
lot
These
of
guys
shit
are,
pushed down.
yeah, these guys are Buffett. These guys are Buffett disciples, the 3 of them.
okay.
Tobias Carlisle's one. This guy who runs the Zig Fund,
Okay.
and then he's got 2 guys with them, Jake Taylor and Bill Brewster. So
Jake Gyllenhaal, I heard.
Yeah, he's a guest host.
So one of the guys on the show had like they do a podcast a lot like ours, right? Where
Unprepared.
They talk,
Copying
off the
us?
cuff.
they talk about a couple
Lot of
things.
swearing.
Basically, one of them brings like one topic, and then the
Uninformed
other 2 guys just
opinions.
kind of show up and talk to them about it, and then they
Okay.
go between topics. And
We should maybe do that.
it's not a bad idea. We could do
Yeah.
some
And we-
special episodes like that if you want. We've been doing
Everything
it.
is special.
We've been doing it as
episode.
stock. We've been doing it as stock reviews for the last couple of weeks. But we
We
could do that
did
if you
one
want.
special episode and it didn't do well.
It tanked.
Yeah,
It tanked.
it was
The
not a
album
good one.
reviews one I thought was really good, but no one liked that one. I thought that was. a
We
good
got
one.
what Claire asked for the other day.
Yeah.
You can't do this. The special episodes of this show, it doesn't work. It has to
No.
be just stupid banter.
So okay, so these guys do a show, and this one guy, Bill Brewster, it's his turn to talk.
So American.
and he
that
starts-
Bill Brewster.
Wait
the
till-
most
wait till
American
you hear this-
name
wait till you hear
besides
the story.
Buck Rogers.
Wait till you hear the story. So he gets a piece of paper out and starts
His
reading.
name is Bill
Brewster. He starts reading a prepared statement. Okay,
Rogers.
you guys are gonna regret laughing about this. So he gets on and he starts crying. Okay,
Ah.
and he's reading this story about how his cousin-in-law had a RobinHood account, had about 16 grand in there.
What's a RobinHood account?
It's like Wealthsimple for the States. It's like fractional investing.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor.
That's
And
the
there's no
imagery they're conjuring up, right?
there's
They're helping the little guy.
there's no fees for buying and selling.
Right.
There's no like.
So this guy had a
Nice.
Robinhood account. He didn't have leverage enabled, but he did buy a couple of puts on some company. I forget which company he bought puts on now. And I guess Robinhood, much like Wealthsimple here, is delayed in feeding you back the accurate representation of your exposure. So this kid wakes up on Friday morning 2 weeks ago and sees that he's exposed for what Robinhood is calling his purchasing power, negative $730,000.
Holy fuck.
Okay,
What?
negative $730,000. Even though the puts were going to be covered,
Did he sell puts though? He sold.
it was they expired on the Monday.
Okay.
I think is the story, right? So
Uh-huh.
you might have to correct me with some of the terminology here because I'm not super great on options. But
Okay.
so on Friday he sees this number. Saturday he kills himself.
Whoa.
Monday comes around and they're covered. right?
Oh my god.
So the interface feeds him that number, and the kid ends up jumping in front of a train. The statement the guy reads out loud, he's like, the kid jumps in front of a train, it's ridiculous, I'm going to battle with RobinHood. And so RobinHood released a statement either today or yesterday night about this kid.
Whoa,
and they're changing the UI interface of their platform. And one of the things Brewster talks about in his statement, this guy's fighting through tears, and he's a very emotional guy during this recollection. He's saying, like, you know, RobinHood in their press releases talks about how they've gamified stock trading, how they've allowed anyone with a couple of bucks to get in with no real education or experience.
That's what they want.
That's what they want. And so he's talking about all this stuff. My question to you, knowing that, like, you guys have a bit more kind of, you know, I hate to say it about a kid who's dead now, but like a little more common sense and to look at something and be like, holy fuck, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, you should have called RobinHood or called somebody, right? What's this mean?
Like, I would look at that and be like, I don't owe $730,000.
Exactly.
There's no way.
So,
and even if I did, I'd be like, well, I'm bankrupt.
time to start paying. Yeah, time to start paying.
Like, whoa.
Made a mistake.
Just one of these just looking, just whoa.
But this is like, this is the thing. This is the thing I don't like about platforms like RobinHood, platforms like
bummer that fucking kid killed himself. That's
Cash
not
App in the
right.
States is the same way. It's not right? And so RobinHood, you know, in the past has done a lot of marketing about how they've made it easy for anyone, and it's like a game, and it's you can see what your friends are doing and share it, and like
next thing you know, you lost this level, you're out. It's $730,000.
Am I crazy to think that this is like the wrong way to approach investing?
Of course, it's the wrong way to approach investing.
Is it though? Because like this is how we do everything else. We gamify everything for kids, whether it's in their education or their financial education or their physical like everything is gamified.
Well, how else would you approach it?
Well, like the natural way, where it's like kind of hard. There's again like a little barrier of entry where like
it's still
you got to go to the bank, and then they tell you like, you sure you want like.
Here's what
instead of just clicking accept on the terms, you're actually face
on
to
your
face
fucking
with the bank
phone.
manager.
On your fucking phone.
The bank manager's like, you understand that like you can get into the trouble with the stocks, and all, like they tell you the repercussions like face to face, and they're like, it's gonna cost you this much to do this, and like whatever. Like this is how it's gonna go down. But on Robinhood, it's just like, oh, I wanted to start buying like stocks and options and shit. Accept,
hurts,
put money on, buy it. You know?
Okay, but like all that aside, like all that like. You clicked accept, right? Even if you went to the bank, you learn the repercussions. It is, as a whole, it's a game. You're playing a game. You're buying and selling shit to make profits.
So you're saying,
thought of as a game, though.
So you're saying the stock market. This is a valid point, actually, that I hadn't considered. That the stock market inherently is kind of a game.
Life is a game.
But before this, like back in the day, man, like it never was a game like this, though. Like the stocks before you could
perspective.
But no, but like before you could buy and sell positions in a fraction of a second from your phone, you had to like go to the bank with a physical stock certificate and be like,
that's right,
here's my 50 shares of like fucking Ford Motor Company. I want to like buy, I want to sell this. What can I get for this?
That's why they talk about like, you know, when they're talking about price action, they say check the tape. Like everything used to be on like a tape.
But that doesn't but that doesn't mean it's like just because like the circumstances of the game have changed, it doesn't mean it's still not a game. Like if you look, like think of like war is a game to certain people. There's like generals sitting in the fucking office. They're literally pawns on a fucking chessboard. They're just moving soldiers. And these guys, like, you're in the shit. Like, you're a pawn. You're fucking player one. You're in the fucking game.
Yeah, you're the first to go.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I do. See what you're saying.
It is a game.
Play the stock market? Do you play the stock market?
That's what everyone. That's how they say it. That's how they talk about it.
Exactly.
What else would you call it?
You invest in the stock market.
I guess, but it's you playing the game. That's the way I look at it.
But that's when I first started investing. It was like playing the stock market. You're betting. You're buying and selling.
You're gambling.
But now I think of it as like, well, like Warren Buffett. What does he say? Like, in the short term, it's a voting machine.
Yeah.
And in the long term, it's a weighing machine.
Yeah.
So like, in the short term, you're like voting for like the stock, but in the long term, it's like really, you look at like the actual weight of like the company. You know what I mean? Like that's what's really going to determine what it's worth, not what people like perceive it as.
Yeah, because like he's looking at it. If he sees like a new stock, he's thinking like 30 years from now. What's it's going to be?
He says his ideal holding time is like a lifetime.
Yeah,
that's what he says.
His whole thing is like, why don't people come to you for investing advice? Like one of the most richest guys in the world, because people don't want to get rich slow.
Yeah.
And he's his whole life. He's the richest guy in the world, obviously.
Not anymore. But
Not
yeah.
Well, he
anymore.
was. He's for a substantial period of time. It was Warren Buffett.
There's
What's
sud-
his- oh,
there's
I like that
suddenly
so much.
there's
It's
suddenly
so
an
sick.
undercurrent
It's sick.
of people who think Buffett is kind of like washed up because the last like 10 years or 12 years he's
like, who fucking cares?
So
He's
Washed
also like
up.
87.
No,
Like,
he's
who
like 90, he's like
cares?
90.
Dude,
I think he's
he
90.
was the reigning title holder
So, okay,
for a majority
second-
of
He
Okay,
bought
so
his first
second-
stock in like 1921. He
Second
was like
piece-
8 years old when he bought his first stock. Okay?
second piece of this
Let
story.
this guy fucking have his shit.
Second piece of this story
He's
is
washed up.
because there's no sports.
People are so stupid.
I think you're probably right. Because there's no
Just
sports.
washed up.
You guys know Portnoy, obviously,
Yeah.
Barstool Dave. So he started day trading on Twitter now. Every day he day trades for 8 hours a day. He gets on at 9
fucking
o'clock and he
jokes.
day trades.
Yeah, that's so fucked.
It's fucking
Can't believe
jokes.
that.
So do you think that a guy like Portnoy has a responsibility
content, man.
to talk to people who are watching him, given that his clientele is basically the same as the target
He doesn't have
clientele
a
for Cash App
responsibility
or
to do anything.
Robinhood? Maybe not. He doesn't have a legal responsibility, but does he have an ethical
More-
responsibility?
I don't know, but like,
He's doing it for content though. He's not really doing it to like
Yeah.
promote like.
He's
day
not doing it to
trading
promote
and shit.
platforms or stocks, but
yeah, I think that he's just
he's
kind
doing
of
it
like.
for content.
Yeah, I think he's just doing it.
It
Strictly
is
for
good content.
I don't
do you think he
to
has
get
no
it.
responsibility to the young investor who's more a Portnoy guy than a finance guy?
Do you think that
Well,
that's
jumping on?
Barstool's fucking mission statement is to fucking ethically help people?
I would be
No,
curious-
they're
I'd be
providing
curious-
Content.
Do you
So-
remember when we first started this podcast? You would always say anything you hear in this podcast is
not financial advice. Yeah, and he has the same disclaimer. He has the same disclaimer.
Oh, he does do that.
Yeah.
Remember when you did that every time? We don't do that anymore.
Well, we
I
don't
forgot
give, we
about
don't
that.
give financial advice.
No,
This
yeah,
isn't
but-
financial advice. Obviously, fucking, we're in a backyard. These guys are barely even awake. Of course, it's not financial
I'm
advice.
kicking it now, man. We bounced back.
I definitely
feel
bounced
pretty
back
good.
pretty good. I'm gonna go get another beer.
Fucking
Joe, you want one?
You want to share one?
Hey, you want one? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll share one. Sure.
Come on, man. Help me out too.
I just gave you one,
Bro.
bro.
I mean, when I do it, I do.
I don't know.
it,
I don't know
right.
what Portnoy's responsibility is to the investing
He
community.
doesn't have a responsibility.
I think he does, and I think the reason he does is because Barstool does a really good job in media and marketing, and so this would be an easy place for them to score points. So I don't understand why they wouldn't try. They know about the story. I see it in his fucking comments every day on Twitter. Everyone is asking him about this because Brewster is the guy who fucking laughs every week on the Investors podcast, or the Acquirers podcast, I should say, about how much of a dummy Portnoy is and how it's funny that he's getting all these kids into investing and they're driving the market in certain ways, and no one knows what's going to come next. Because who knows how Portnoy is going to act day to day.
I know what you're saying. Okay, the way I look at it is
I'm
like
fucking
just say
drenched.
hypothetically, this podcast makes it somehow. I don't want in my head selfishly. I don't want when. Yeah, not if when. Sorry. Selfishly, I don't want to have a responsibility. I just want to do it and do like I think he's in that mindset.
For sure.
He's just doing it. He's like I don't care. Like you don't listen to me or listen.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just wonder if that's the right response.
I don't think it's an ethics thing that you're saying. I think it's a moral thing. You think morally
It is,
because
yeah.
he's got an audience.
Morally, I think morals and ethics
It's close.
are the same thing.
It's close.
Yeah.
I
You don't
don't-
have to do it, but
morally, I think is more like
would it help him sleep at night?
yeah, and like
Fuck it, probably would.
ethically is like
I think.
ethically is like you can fake ethics. Morals are like that's deep rooted.
Look
You
at
know
the
what I'm
look at the cheap beer Will brought you.
That's cool. I'll take it, man.
It's done. I wasn't even in the fridge.
Soul Cerveza. I already had an expensive
Soul-
one. It's fine.
Soul.
What the fuck is this?
You never had that?
bro?
I'm not mad. I've just never seen it.
I don't know. I don't know what to
Cerveza.
think about Portnoy and his role in any of this stuff. I don't know what to think about RobinHood and their role.
I
get Robinhood has a responsibility to.
Yeah, but that's a company.
Yeah.
Portnoy
Yeah.
is just a person.
What I should have done if I was smart and more dedicated to this show, what I should have done is instead of thinking about how I felt about it, I should have looked and investigated who owns Robinhood. Thank you. God bless you.
Robinhood's gone public. They're their own company.
That's apparently what their plan is. But after this, you think it's going to affect like the IPO price? I would imagine it probably would.
What do you want?
Brewster's got a big audience.
I don't think that it's going to affect the IPO price. This personally, this thing, I don't think so. A lot of they pushed off their IPO for a while though. I think.
Like this story was in Forbes yesterday.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
CNBC covered it Thursday, I think.
Well, if it's exposing an actual like a bug in their system, then yeah, sure, probably. But
Yeah.
if it's just like a case of like ethics, I don't think ethics really reflects IPO prices.
I personally don't do options, and I'm not super familiar with like the terminology or
Options.
like the palette of outcomes you could get
I could maybe shed some light on this.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you think? Like, should the average investor, be able to get in on it? Like, I can't imagine you're going to say yes, but I'd love to know what you're going to say and why.
But so obviously that poor kid like killed himself, but it turns out that he wasn't in the hole, right?
Yeah.
That's the outcome. Yeah.
So like
or at least not as much as it said. Like the exposure wasn't nearly $750,000.
So like I've never actually, I mean I've traded options for sure, and I still like kind of on and off trade options, but I've never overexposed myself to the point where like you can sell uncovered options. I don't know if I even can with my account. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think you should be able to sell uncovered options probably ever, or without a huge like position to back it up, or some kind of like
you got to be liquid for it.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of collateral, I think, to be able to sell uncovered options, because that's like where you get really fucked over, and that's what it sounds like this kid was doing. But yeah, I don't know. I think that like you can get into options. It's the same thing. Like if you have $500, you can. I think that you should be able to buy options if you want.
I think options to me look like playing the stock market.
You can't buy options with $500 anyways, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. You have to buy them in chunks of 100, right? So like,
100 contracts.
yeah, but like sometimes a contract is only $1.10, so then 100, you have to buy limited 100, so there's like $110. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think you should be able to if you want to. It's the same thing as buying $100 worth of stock. You know, it's like as long as it's gonna be
tasty.
As long as it's gonna be covered, then whatever, you can do whatever you want. It's obviously not very fiscally responsible, probably, to be buying options without owning stocks. Like, if your first thing is that you're gonna be buying and trading options, that means you want to get rich quick, and you probably don't understand the market very well.
Let's check in with Dr. Soul. So you said something there that I kind of liked. That's like the gap, or that's where the difference between playing
and
the stock
investing
market
is,
and investing is
yeah.
options.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why.
You're the most junior investor of the three of us.
Junior.
Yeah, but none of I don't have a ton of investing on my own. Like I've been doing it for probably 5 years, maybe not super long.
When did you buy your first stock?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Maybe probably during the first marijuana run. So 4 years ago, probably.
true.
Yeah, I bought like ACB, Aurora, and Huge. I made a fuck ton of money on this stock called Huge. In
EA Sports
in Coburg. They bought the old craft plant there.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So short story before we cut to Mike for his take on gambling and options, or playing the stock market and options. You have a take. If you don't have a take, come up with one in the next 10 seconds.
Let's pressure.
These guys bought the old craft plant and had like all their numbers or whatever shareholder relations documents talking about how much their production was. And so this guy I work with, Andrew, who's a welding tech, he's talking to me and Ginweed one day. He's like, "Did you guys look over these documents?" We're like, "No, who cares? We bought it for 30 cents. It's like $3 now.
Yeah.
And we're rich. I'm getting a tattoo next week. Are you kidding?" He's like, "If you look at the production, it's like 2 skids of dope.
Yeah.
It's in the millions of ounces. It's like 2 skids of dope, basically."
No way.
That's why. But that's why I could never justify buying like marijuana stocks back in the day, because it was like I remember looking and then being like, Canopy Growth had like 10 million in sales, and they were like a $1 or $2 billion market cap.
Is
I was
it
like,
raining?
I cannot justify this. Yeah,
It's all right.
but it's fucking welcomed.
I'm not worried about it. Everything here was
Don't
waterproof
worry
anyway.
about this. Electronics. Like,
It's all waterproof. Don't
honestly,
worry about it.
this is a funny thing because like I was like randomly running by Will's house, and Will's on his front porch, and I stopped in. We started talking, and it was a joke because one of Will's neighbors who lives up the street walks by. He's like, "Oh, Will, you living here?" And he's like, "Yeah, you living at home too?" She's like, "Yeah, you know," like just like not admitting that she's living at home. Didn't want to admit it, which was funny.
They want me to know where she lives.
It was funny to me to see that, like somebody who's like not. It's okay to live at home right now. Everything's fucked. It's not realistic. If you have a house now, you killed it.
Did the government
Yeah.
not send basically everyone who was living even like at school or other places back home? I thought they did.
I don't know.
Did they not?
I don't know.
Probably.
But either way. So I was just like, I just said as a joke, it's like, "Yo, Will, you living here?" He's like, "Nah, man, I'm just trapping here."
I'm just
Like, we're just fucking around. I'm just
Yeah,
selling
yeah.
drugs out of my fucking parents' house. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
living here now. I'm just slinging dope out of this.
But then
place.
we got talking about like, I'm like, How much do you think like $1 million worth of cocaine?
We talked about this on the show.
Did we?
That's so funny because the only show I've listened to was the one with you guys and Jordan, and you guys talked about
Did
it.
we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much it is? Yeah, and it's
Dead
like it ends up
content.
being like a skid.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we started like doing the math. We're like, fuck, it's not really that much.
Like
Yeah.
physical space wise, no, it's not.
yeah,
not.
and then that would be like if you have like if you're a company like if you're a dope company but dope has more it's more real estate than coke. Like coke
It's
is more
more
dense.
volume.
Yeah.
But like if you were say what did you say like a $1 to $2 million market cap? Is that what you said for like back in the day when they first
what?
started
For what?
for marijuana?
Oh, market cap on some of these companies, I would guess it's
When
a
it
lot
started?
more than
What? No, you said $1 to $2 million market cap. I think, or was
No,
it
he
billion?
said they were. I said
that. They were making like 1 or 2 million ounces. Yeah, and selling like 2 million.
There's no way that
ounces.
it's only a couple skids. That's a lot of weed.
millions of ounces is a lot of weed.
Like I don't know if
Or
you've
maybe,
seen an
maybe
ounce.
it was maybe it
Like,
was
if you
millions
bounce to the ounce.
millions of grams maybe.
yeah, it's probably
Grams,
they definitely
sorry.
they do it by the
Because
gram
that's
for
Canadian
sure.
too, right? Yeah, I
Ounce
probably
is like- ounce is like-
misspoke there.
An ounce of weed is like
Well, it's
a
28
nice
times
little
bigger than a
brick.
gram.
16
Yeah.
ounces.
It's a nice, like especially if they do like the vac seal. It's still like a
To a
decent
pound.
brick.
Yeah,
That's why, like, it absolutely baffles me that there's like fucking guys that are like illegally back in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, I guess even like fucking all the time. Like the guys that are just like distributing dope.
Yeah.
dope. Yeah,
Like not like coke is one thing, but like just weed. It's like, why did you pick that?
I know.
Why did you pick that? It's like it's the least profitable and it's like the most like obvious. that
Easy to
you're
get
doing it.
caught. Yeah.
Like coke,
stinks.
it's fucking. Yeah, it's like it's such a shitty product to move.
Yeah,
Like it's like you're stupid. But like I guess maybe it's one of those things that people look at and you're like, well, no one else is doing it. Maybe I'll capitalize on this.
well, that's like the new Narcos season or the newest.
yeah,
one
the
in
Narcos
Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah,
Haven't seen that show.
it's
so-
it's
all about
okay.
Mexico.
It's okay.
It was all
It's
about
hard to
weed.
get into because I want Pablo. Escobar,
Same here. Yeah,
you know, like
same here.
What, did he die already in the series?
Pablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it's like that happens in like they have like that,
1985.
what is it? 3 seasons? Is that what it is?
I think
it's
so,
3
yeah.
seasons. The first 2 seasons are Pablo, and then the third season's the Cali cartel. His fucking rival.
I don't
Yeah.
even. I haven't
It's really
seen that
good.
show.
That's
I should get
really
into
good.
It. I should get into it.
Oh,
But
I
the
gotta
Mexico
watch
one,
that shit again.
the Mexico one, I didn't really get. But like, but the thing is with like Coke, they it was just genius what they were doing. They're smuggling it in like fucking airplane tires and shit. Actually, I think the most smuggler in a way that he's ruthless is Frank Lucas.
Oh
The
yeah,
American
in
gangster
coffins.
in fucking coffins,
In the
from
coffins.
Vietnam. He's
Blue
just
Magic.
fucking shipping
Yeah.
back fucking heroin in coffins.
What about oh my god.
That guy? That movie is fucking amazing.
American Gangster is one of the best movies.
It's
Great,
ever.
great movie,
Yeah, it's
great
so
movie.
fucking good.
It's
My
just like
man.
he just throws the money
My
in the
man.
guy's thing. He just goes, "Hey, boom!" right in the restaurant, in the cafe.
and then he goes back down and sits and
He just
eats.
he throws the money on his chest and then just goes and eats. Nothing happens to him.
Yeah,
That's my motherfucking carpet, man. It's
Oh, we just
fucking
talked about
mink.
last
Like,
week.
it's
The
fucking
sign
amazing.
of success. If you can kill somebody in broad daylight, probably you're pretty
100%,
successful. Yeah.
100%.
yeah.
Do you guys want to go? What do you want to do next? We got Stonk review, and do you have a note today? You don't. You just you barely crawled
Do you
out
have
of
a
bed
thought
before we
today?
got here.
Mike's thoughts.
Something to
No
add?
thoughts.
Anything to add today? Nothing.
I would be down to keep talking about gangsters and shit. That's just my thing.
I'll do a special episode on that later.
Yeah, we could do a Patreon only episode on
Yeah,
gangsters.
criminal stuff.
You want to? Okay, I'll do the fucking Disney stock review. Okay,
All right. What time are we at, by the way?
it's 1 hour 12 minutes.
We can maybe bang out another one after this.
I'll do whatever you want. I don't care.
Whatever I want.
I'm in a good mood now.
I hope you got lots of beer.
There's
Yeah,
lots
well,
of souls.
or we can just go to the beer store. So okay,
Are you driving?
Disney. Okay, Disney. You own Disney.
I own Disney and
I
I
do-
own it in real life.
I do not own Disney in real life or in my fake portfolio. Do you own
Okay.
Disney in your fake portfolio? You don't.
I just
Disney-
I thought it was going to be just a surge from Disney Plus.
Disney
Are
closed
you
that.
about to rip it up?
Disney closed on Friday at $114.35 US. So what's that? About $140, something like that. $150. Disney. Okay, you guys have all seen these, Illuminati pie charts or Illuminati Venn diagrams,
Yeah,
like all the
5G,
things,
man.
all the Illuminati companies own, all this.
Oh yeah.
Disney's got their own. Okay,
Yeah.
so I was gonna go through the Disney,
Disney does
holdings.
own a lot of shit.
I was gonna go through Disney holdings. There's no point. The odds of you
No point.
going to a Disney property when you go on vacation is probably like 20%.
Yeah.
Okay, you go on a vacation, you're probably going to wind up with something Disney owns a piece of at least 20% of the time. That's what I
Yeah,
gather. If you go to anywhere in the U.S. where there's a theme park,
Yeah.
Disney's gonna have a piece of it.
But that's why they got bucked by the fucking coronavirus.
So we're gonna talk about that. Disney owns, okay, the biggest holdings they got: ABC, Touchstone, Marvel,
do they own Pixar?
Lucasfilm. They own Pixar, A&E.
Lucasfilm.
Oh, fuck.
Lucasfilm Star Wars.
Yeah, A&E.
He's got
they
his
own,
own fucking.
They own 50%. 50% of A&E.
Is it George
50% of the
Lucas?
History Channel.
Yeah.
They own ESPN, Pixar, Hollywood Records, Core Publishing, and they have a 10% stake in Vice Media.
Oh, I didn't know the Vice.
Yeah, the Vice is.
There is
that
a
like
list.
A private little thing. Like
There is a
Vice?
list of undisclosed holdings that
I like
these
Vice.
guys
I like
have.
Vice News. I think that's the best, most realistic news, in my opinion.
I like it too.
There's another conversation we could
Of
have
course,
about
there is.
that.
There's obviously
Well, let's do a
biases,
special
but
episode on that.
The so there's a number of companies they
there's so
own.
much content.
There's a number of companies they own that's like 50 or 60 companies long, where it's an undisclosed percentage holding.
Mhm.
Among them, GoPro.
So weird.
Also,
Oh, really?
yes.
But
So
GoPro's
they-
its own
GoPro?
company too.
They own
GoPro's
part of
on the
that.
stock market.
They own part of that. So I wrote down a couple other things here. Notable brands: Star Wars, The Muppets, Pirates of the Caribbean,
The
Chronicles of Narnia. They also own Grey's Anatomy,
Oh, I didn't know that.
ABC.
True.
That's a Disney holding.
It's probably on Disney Plus then.
So I said a number of things here. I
Why is
have
that show so massive. Everybody fucks with it.
girls
Everyone.
love handsome guys who are in trouble, and so
And
that's
doctors,
and
though.
doctors. Yeah,
They're just like,
They love
Have
it.
you seen Grey's Anatomy? I'm like, look at me.
a lot of
When
stars.
there's
A lot of
guy who has an opinion-
stars.
Imagine, I just gotta secretly start watching it, and then when they ask me that, I'm gonna just take him off. Grab it.
Come with a
Oh my
huge
God.
underground reference.
A lot of
Oh.
stars.
Jonathan did this in the ER. Oh my god, my heart sank.
And all
So-
of a sudden she's sopping wet.
I was looking at.
It's like she pissed her pants.
I had been thinking of a few things
even
for
urine.
this review, and I started drawing this diagram for the Disney marketing plan. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if this is accurate to me, but there's probably more to this than I realized. It's probably making them even more money. Disney has what I would call the best circular economy for IP anywhere in the world.
Oh, yeah.
It's
like,
unbelievable.
From
So
creation to
they create a brand.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll scan this and put it in the show notes.
Did you get that out of my notebook?
Create brand. It's not graph paper.
True.
Create a brand, then they push it off to a movie or show and gear, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's a success, let's start with this. If it's not a success, what do they do with it?
They save it for later, then they'll remake it in 10 years.
Syndicate it. They
Yeah,
syndicate it.
Oh my god, it's so jokes.
Put it to Disney.
That is
Put it on
fucking
Disney
jokes,
Plus. If
man.
it sucks, they put it to Disney Plus and it makes them money in 10 years. If it is a success,
They make 40 other movies.
spin-off is the next thing I have. And then spin-off goes right back to create brand.
Yes.
We just keep pumping out spin-offs of shit.
Until
it's
every
unbelievable.
character is its own movie.
Unfucking believable how they've done this with Star Wars,
Yeah.
Toy Story, all
I've
these
heard The
movies.
Mandalorian is good though.
We're gonna get into Disney Plus in a bit, but trust me on this. There's a lot going on with Disney and fucking Mandalorian, Star Wars, all these other brands. If it is a success, they do a spin-off. Then they do sequels, merchandise, crossovers. Probably the most important thing they do though is they take the intel they get from their IP in terms of picture and they reinvest it into their parks.
Oh, yeah.
If
Totally.
it's successful, they can put it in their parks and people
ride.
will come to their
Yeah,
parks.
the Mandalorian ride.
Exactly.
Is
Man,
gonna
the
be in Disney.
life
Exactly.
cycle of this
It's
fucking
hilarious.
IP, man.
This is I think
That's
their
hilarious. What is IP? Sorry, help me out.
intellectual property.
Okay.
That's their value prop. It's that they get stuff into that ecosystem and it never dies. It only grows.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit last week about how Amazon has the capital to do a lot of this stuff. So do these guys.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They will eat the cost of anything if they think it's going to make them money for 20 years.
Yeah.
How long is Toy Story making money for Disney?
Man, it's so fuck. And like,
25
honestly,
years?
It's like the
Ish.
first Toy Story movie came out so long ago.
It's like that is 100% my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Yeah.
But it's
Toy
insane
Story,
that this is going on. Now, there's a number of other Disney movies that you don't even remember from when you were a kid, but you watched 30 times.
Exactly.
Your parents bought the VHS.
VHS.
They bought you the shirt.
Yep.
They got you the party hats for your birthday.
Yes.
It was on your fucking plate. All these things. The merch is like it's not just T-shirts.
You don't
it's
even think
forks
about
and
it.
it's forks and fucking spoons,
But
man.
do you know why your parents did that? It's because Disney made it possible
Yes.
for them to do that.
We're gonna get into that in a bit. That Disney has the best merchandising operation anywhere in the world for their
Yeah.
own IP.
Yeah.
Period. It's not close.
And they
It's not
also
close.
know that they know little kids are gonna want
Yeah.
Lion King themed birthday parties, so they're gonna
Yeah.
have napkins. They're gonna have fucking everything.
So I'll get into that right now, okay? Preface
yeah,
preface
it.
for the
Killed
merchandising.
it.
Preface for the merchandising, okay? Obviously COVID has affected shopping malls. Fine. I would argue, okay, despite what I'm going to tell you guys later about some of the numbers and how they've kind of not been in Disney's favor since COVID started, I'll say two things to you here. One, parents who have kids The mics won't catch that. Parents who have kids need
Red
two
Skull,
things
swear
these
to
days
Christ.
during COVID, okay? They need kids who are quiet
Yep.
and kids who are entertained.
Yep.
Disney is going to help you with both those things. You buy them toys, you let them watch movies, you let them watch Disney Plus. Disney should be a COVID-proof business. We're going to talk about why they're not.
Yeah.
But part of their revenue stream, I think, is going to see growth in Q3. Didn't see it in Q2, but it will see it in Q3. The other piece of the merchandising equation is that Disney had, I mean, you guys are maybe too young to remember this, but when the Disney store opened in Lime Ridge Mall, it was blockbuster.
What was that?
Everybody
what was the other
was there.
one? What was the other one before that? It was not Disney, but there was like a movie shop. It was a weird like.
Oh, maybe.
the
I don't know.
Movie time or something.
Yeah.
Something weird. That
When
you just go-
Showtime, wasn't
Man,
No, I
when
don't know
Disney,
what- I don't know
when
if
the,
it was
when the
it. It was-
Disney store opened, Mike, there was a line around
it
the
wasn't even-
fucking
but
mall.
No, the thing is like this. It was the same like place in the mall.
Yeah.
It just changed to a Disney. They just changed the fucking thing.
I don't know.
Because this place sold
In Lime Ridge?
or Mapleview, whatever,
Yeah,
one of
see,
the two. But it
Mapleview,
was
I
like
don't know.
they would just sell
So, like,
movie shit.
posters
Yeah,
and-
posters, like stuffed animals, fucking this, that, like
Disney
anything
was
to do with
probably
like
like, oh,
merchandise.
Disney,
Disney probably bought that company and was like, I like what they're doing, but we're gonna have like that
I
company.
want to
couldn't
say
have,
that it was
like,
Man.
fucking Music World.
I
wanna
don't
say
know.
that was the store.
maybe.
the Disney store is a genius setup because Disney is very careful about who can sell their IP now.
exactly.
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't get Disney shit in a lot of stores. You can get it at like Walmart, some toys. You can get it at like the Bay, some shirts for kids. But if you want the top level Disney
yeah,
stuff,
you gotta go.
you gotta go to
Disney.
you gotta go direct to provider.
Smart.
Disney should list on Amazon.
I
Or
wish.
fucking pump my whole
I wish
portfolio up.
for sure they take off. So that's one piece. That's the other merchandising piece. The other thing is Disney has the best marketing team in the world, and that marketing team is crying kids.
yeah.
Kids everywhere are fucking whining and screaming and yelling about where's my Buzz Lightyear toy?
Yeah.
Where's my Mickey toy? Where's my Mandalorian toy? Where's my lightsaber? Where's all this shit? People buy. I don't remember even as a kid loving Disney stuff, but if I go through the VHS cabinet at my dad's house, it's gonna be
It's amazing.
all
Wall-to-wall
Disney.
Disney.
It's
Everything.
all Disney.
Every single thing.
Every single thing. So
They
I
might
know
have like the one, and it's like they had that packaging too. Their movies.
that's right.
The books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other, as the other ones where you slide them out.
Yeah.
Disney had their own.
Yeah,
They had the plastic
yeah.
opener. That's
Man, and
right.
then
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had those are
Great
all
point.
Disney's, and then you have like Twister. It's
Or,
just
like,
like you have
The
like all
Secret
those
of
like
Nim.
nice fucking things. Looks like a great bookshelf, and you have like that shitty slide.
It's
out.
not-
But
it's
there was
not-
no animated movie from like the 80s, 90s, 2000s that wasn't Disney.
They
That
were
was
all
that had
Disney.
any lasting power.
So Disney owns Pixar, which
Yeah.
we'll get
Pixar
into.
was the
Which we'll get
greatest
into now.
for that.
Every
Steve
every
Jobs
good
originally
animated
started.
movie, yes, he did start that. Every good animated movie came from Pixar for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything from
Well, because it wasn't like a cartoon; it was like 3D.
so Pixar also had a hand in the 90s before it was big in some of these other smaller movies.
What was the difference between like a cartoon and then Pixar cartoon? Animation?
Cartoons are animation cell based, and
Yeah.
once Pixar got into Toy Story, it was CGI. Computers were doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
And it was just
that's
like
the
amazing.
gap-
It was
so the
such a
gap-
fucking like.
Well, yeah,
upgrade.
everyone remembers when like this was all around the same time. Okay, there's a couple things happened all around the same time. One, Toy Story came out.
Toy Story was,
the
like,
Simpsons. The
revolutionary.
It was,
Simpsons
yeah.
had that 3D episode. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. When Homer
Yeah.
goes into
All
the
that stuff
fucking-
came around the
into
same time when the
Patriots.
technology was available to some of these studios.
Grab.
They used it.
It's just,
They used
walking
it.
around like, ooh,
So
yeah.
so these guys are doing all that stuff. Okay, so here's some of the other strengths for Disney. I talked about the circular ecosystem. It is as scalable as it gets. They produce the IP. 20 years later, they're still making money on it.
It's
You ask a
crazy.
kid who was born 5 years ago whether they know Toy Story, they
Yeah.
fucking know.
Oh yeah.
especially with Instagram and shit, like the amount
Easy,
of memes.
easy.
And now that like that age is kind of coming to like being able to like buy their own shit.
That's
you
right.
See, it's like I didn't really grow up on Toy Story because I was too old. But like seeing the generation that did,
You're
they
too young.
still
You're too
loved
young to
it,
grow up
man.
on
You
Toy
didn't
Story.
grow up on
Not
Toy
too old.
Story?
I grew up on it. No, I'm too old for sure. Like
Too old.
No way.
I grew up
again,
on.
but I'm saying like grow up as in like when I was like
Oh yeah.
like a toddler.
You
being
didn't come
put
of
in front Toy
age. Yeah,
Story.
yeah. Okay, sure.
But these people that were like born in like 1998,
Yeah.
1999, like
Mm.
those people are now like in their 20s and they still have like this love and yearning for Toy Story. You know what I mean?
So other strengths these guys have, okay? We talked a bit about whether their branding and their IP is a success or not. It goes into syndication. It's free. People will watch it. Adds to the number of users for Disney Plus, which we're going to talk about in a second.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just about what you're saying, Will, to like elaborate on your point. I think the people that you're talking about, we like Toy Story. Those people love Toy Story 2.
Oh, maybe.
And I didn't really.
Regardless.
Toy Story 2 was like.
Regardless.
You know, it was
Yeah.
all right, but like Toy Story 1 was like the best, and they thought Toy Story 2 was also the best.
But it's the content though. It's like the IP. Like I don't know which Ninja Turtles movie you think is the best.
You're right.
But we could talk about which one of the
Michelangelo's
Ninja
the
Turtles
best.
is our. Yeah, that's I was supposed to say. We can talk about which one of the Ninja Turtles was your favorite.
Yeah.
We may not agree on the
Listen,
same movie,
that purple.
but we agree on the other shit, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's like, and we can't overlook. I know, like, I'm sorry, definitely
No.
interrupting
Keep
you,
going.
Bob,
Keep
but,
going.
like, we can't overlook the fact that they make the best shit still. Like, they could be the best marketers, and if they put out a shitty product, they're going to be a shitty company.
It's the highest floor that I think you're going to see anywhere in one of these like circular content.
And
Yeah,
economy.
exactly,
Dude,
yeah.
dude, the fact that they managed to get The Simpsons
Yeah.
is insane.
So that's the Fox.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
Because
is-
no one had it forever. And then
Yeah,
Disney was like,
I don't
we're
know.
going to come out with our own Disney Plus, which they should have done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But then they're like, yeah, we got The Simpsons too.
Well, they were in
Which is
talks to
that was,
merge.
like their selling point.
They
That
were
was huge.
They were in talks to merge with Fox in 2019. I don't know if that ever happened. I suspect it did not because I would know
no,
if
Disney
it did.
bought Fox.
They did buy Fox.
But then they had to spin off some of it because it was like antitrust shit.
okay.
So they have to.
Okay.
They had to spin off.
So they did buy that. I didn't
They
even have
did.
that in the
Like,
strengths
that's
thing. I
what they
saw
got-
that in a few articles. And I thought, there's no way this happened. I would have known about this, but it did happen. They bought Fox.
Have you ever
They did,
watched?
yeah,
have you
but
ever
they-
watched?
Holy fuck.
Have you ever watched two black holes
No.
merge?
No.
You ever watched that shit? That's like two corporations like doing that. Like, oh, a major corporation buying a major corporation.
You just
That
get
is-
terminated out of the whole outcome. That's
It's
it.
insane.
It just erases your universe.
I'm just thinking of like the numbers involved in that deal. Like two black holes, like one black hole just annihilates another black hole, and they just become bigger. It's fucked.
So we should talk a bit about Disney Plus.
I just want to see I want to see the number on the contract. My hand. would be
It's probably
shaking
unbelievable how big it
signing
is. Oh,
But,
it's
like,
unbelievable.
Billions of dollars.
and it definitely takes longer for two companies to merge like that than it takes two black holes that eat
Oh,
each
when they
other.
when they
you
start
know?
going, it's like big hole.
It
Do you
takes
know-
so long for a
Do
company.
you guys know how many? So Disney Plus started when? December, something like that, right?
It's
Yeah,
super recent.
I
right?
got it.
Yeah, you
So
got it.
Netflix,
Maybe in 2020.
Netflix has been around for probably 15 years.
They
If
were
you go
in the-
back to
like
their
the
DVD
Redbox
service,
shit,
right?
yeah.
How many subscribers worldwide do you think Netflix has?
Most people.
I want to say 200 million.
Mike? Price is Right rules.
200 million and one.
182 million.
Fuck, I lost.
Okay.
Ah,
Blew up in my face.
Do you know how
Look
many
me
Disney
face.
got in Q1 2020?
40 million.
50 million.
Damn.
It is a safe bet that Disney's going to be bigger than Netflix in a couple of years.
I
don't-
think so too.
I don't
Disney
know.
Plus.
I don't
a safe bet.
agree with that.
It's a safe bet for
I don't
only,
agree with
So
that.
we talked a bit about how it's important that the operation is scalable. We talked a bit a couple of weeks ago about how Netflix has to pay for all their new content. Disney is not paying anyone for the new content.
Yeah.
They're making it in-house.
But they can also
They're-
decide if they want to like take on like The Office. They're like,
That's right.
We got deep pockets.
That's
we have to
right.
Buy The Office too.
If it's doing well on Netflix, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Because parents now are starting to think about, especially coming out of quarantine, how many of these services do we need to keep? We got Hulu, we got Netflix, we got Crave, we got Spotify, we
Yeah.
got you name it, right?
Which I think is a plus for Netflix right now, or a plus
For Disney.
Disney Plus, and a negative for Netflix.
Yeah, I think
They're
so too.
every single media property now is coming out with their own streaming service. So they're gonna take all their shit off Netflix. So Netflix is gonna eventually, in like 10 years, be left with like
Only their originals.
Netflix originals.
Yeah, I think
which
Which
is
are pretty strong.
great. It's so super smart.
They're
that they-
strong, but it's not enough to maintain 200 million subscribers.
Can I counterpoint why I think
Yeah,
Disney
let's talk
isn't?
about it.
Because I think so. I'm an electrician, and there's a thing that happens when you listen to this.
You are?
There's a thing that I'm an apprentice, but there's a thing when you when you turn from dead to live, you flick on the switch. There's a thing called inrush. So you have to size a breaker for that. Like even if you're running 15 amps, you have to size it for 120%. So that's what happens with Disney. I think they just came in, and that's why you got what 40, 50 million in your first year.
50 million
It's a
first
complete
quarter.
surge.
First quarter,
Right
yeah.
away. People are just big boom because everybody's in streaming now. That's what everyone does.
Oh yeah.
Right? Netflix is built. What do you say? 180 million.
Yeah.
They built that over time. Disney, it looks like projectionally it's going to be way more, but all it
think they'll
was
slow
a
down?
surge, and that's all it was. And people are going to cancel.
COVID surge is definitely something that
COVID is.
I would entertain that
COVID's
as a
like
counterpoint.
an out of left field variable, but
I don't think that they expected I don't think they were like, well, we have 40 million in the first quarter, we're gonna have 40 million next quarter. I don't think that they were thinking like that. I hope not, at least. 'Cause,
no. I listened to the earnings call this morning just like to get some more insight, and it doesn't sound like that. Actually, we'll talk a bit about the earnings call later, but I think personally, well, anyway, if you guys are done, I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
So ESPN, the ACC network,
ESPN, yeah, exactly.
Longhorn
That's
Network,
Disney too,
and
yeah.
ABC all have exclusive contracts with the NFL, NBA, and NCAA basketball and football. So when you watch March Madness, you're watching it on ABC and CBS and ESPN.
so Disney.
And Disney.
When you're watching NFL Monday Night Football, it's ESPN exclusive. Always has been. And
How long is it? How long is it until that all those little sub
those
companies go away? And it just becomes Disney.
Well, it's never going to just become Disney because
Disney
it's,
Disney
yeah,
doesn't
bad
want to be-
branding.
it's just too hard, right? It's too hard to maintain.
watching the NHL on Disney.
Exactly, yeah.
We talked a bit about how Amazon, if they were broken up, would really just become more efficient, right? You'd be to your benefit as a stockholder. Same thing, I think, with Disney. So these guys all have exclusive contracts. I would argue that when those sports come back, people are going to be tuning into those at record levels.
Oh, yes.
Oh
For
my
sure.
god!
Record
Did you
levels.
see just the fact that people are playing like golf, like
Yeah.
that whole shit, like the match.
Yeah,
No,
That
I
was
didn't
like the
see it.
most televised. It was so big.
it was one of the.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the.
It was. They had a sporting event, and everyone was like, finally
Have to
People
watch
hate
it.
golf.
Have to watch it.
We'll watch fucking Tom Brady fucking
True.
duff shots all day, motherfucker.
Right.
At least holes out, but like unbelievable.
So I also talked about how Disney Plus is going to be bigger than Netflix. I said that already. The content, I would say on the whole, is better and targets a
Well, it's more
demographic.
diverse.
It
They got
targets a
more
demographic
options.
that demands attention, kids.
Yes.
And so parents, in a lot of cases, especially if you subscribed early, probably have no choice but to keep it. They'll pick between that and Netflix, and they'll probably go to Disney.
And especially if the kids get hooked on a show or a movie on Disney, it's that because I grew up with sisters, and once they watched a movie, it's fucking game over.
It's in the house.
They are
Yeah.
watching that movie every day. Kids
Yeah.
do not care about
I know.
I watched that yesterday. Let's try something else today. They're like, no, we want to see that again and again
Yeah.
and again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
once you have that, you're stuck.
And don't
You
forget
remember
that.
being like that?
I don't remember personally being like that.
We
but
were
I'm
like
sure,
that.
Don't forget
for sure.
don't forget the feedback loop, right? You watch a movie a couple of times, and so do 100 million other people or 50 million other people. They say, okay, let's dump 100 million into a ride. Let's dump 100 million into the park. Let's make 100 million T-shirts, make 100 million
Yeah.
toys, make 100, and then everybody buys them up.
Yep.
They take advantage of that. That's primary research they can do that a lot of other firms don't have an outlet for.
For sure.
I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen Aristocats because Kenzie,
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
she was the alpha male in the house.
We used to watch. Man, at my place,
4 years older than me. She
This
didn't
is-
even give me a
That's
shit.
jokes. Joey's probably still watching the Aristocats.
I've never seen it. I've only watched Rescuers Down Under. I used to watch all the time.
That was the
Unbelievable
shit,
movie.
man.
Rescuers Down Under. Same with Great Mouse Detective.
Yo, Basil.
Basil.
That was
Those are the best movies, man.
Last night, Darren was freestyling and he dropped a Fievel Goes West bar.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
fucking
Nice.
lost my mind. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't know that anybody else has seen that movie.
Everyone's
except
seen
for
it.
Me. No, they haven't. Because I have fucking dropped Fievel Goes West references and people are like, what the fuck is that? I'm
Do you
like,
think that's a Disney movie? I bet you it is.
I bet you it is.
it has to be.
I bet you it is.
I bet you it is.
But that was before
Does it have the fold?
CGI.
Does it have the fold-out case? Then it is.
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
bet it
let
is.
me let me give you now the reason why I think Disney is not a buy. Okay,
I know. I was waiting for the butt.
It's not a buy.
Here we go.
It's not a buy.
This is the pivot
Cruises and parks are not going to be. This is my own thinking. Cruises and parks are not going to be a capacity for some time. In 2019 Q2, do you know how much of Disney's total revenue was cruises and parks?
30%.
40%. That's a big fucking number. Okay,
That's a lot.
$6 billion in Q2 2019. That's a huge cash bleed for them too, because you can't stop
Yes.
maintaining the parks and the boats.
Exactly, yeah,
You got to
yeah.
keep maintaining them at a loss.
And they have to just keep waiting for them to be opened up.
Underrated thing, I think. Okay, and this may be part of the whole get woke, go broke mantra that you've seen in the last year or so. Star Wars has the best opening weekend for the Return of Skywalker in 2020, early 2020.
Yep.
One of the best opening weekends ever. It also has the biggest first to second weekend drop of all time. 81% drop between weekend 1 and 2.
Oh,
It
really?
sucked.
Which tells me that people are no longer recommending these movies to their friends.
That was like a complete
Right.
nostalgic
Star Wars
throw-in.
Star Wars is a huge brand, and Disney paid big money for that from Lucasfilm. And in my view, and the view of some other people I talked to, they've completely destroyed the brand credibility over the
Yeah.
last year or so.
Everyone thinks Star Wars sucks now.
So that's one thing.
That's something Lord of the Rings will never do.
That's what. Yeah, you're right. Because it's fickle. Like those people are fickle. Like
That's
they're
right.
not gonna stick around if you put out an inferior product.
So
you know?
that it's ridiculous.
Which
They're-
is what you're gonna do with recreating
people
Star Wars.
people
Like,
want
Star
we
Wars is,
talked
like,
how
full
is
of
it my
holes,
question
man.
for Disney is how is it possible that we like sitting in these chairs half in the bag can fucking figure out that Disney's biggest strength is the branding, and then they buy Star Wars, which is an already strong brand, and destroy it in about a year and a half.
But I mean, that obviously they didn't. Their whole thing was like going off like your first viewpoints. They're like, hey, we have this IP. Now we're gonna milk it some more, and then we're hopefully gonna get more merch out of it, and then like we're gonna do a spin-off of this next one.
Do you think they're just gonna let it die?
No, fuck no.
You don't
They
think,
can't.
eh?
It's too powerful. It's too. It has too much of a brand going.
That's
for
the
it. They're gonna
monolith, you
try to revive it, and you can't. You just sell it. It's worth so much. You
Yeah,
can never just let
yeah.
it die.
You're not wrong.
They should sell it. Give it to somebody who can make it better.
On the
They don't
earnings
want
call,
anyone to make it better.
Like personally,
somebody-
wait, sorry.
go
You ever
go.
Fucking watch? Did you watch Star Wars? You guys like Star Wars?
The old ones I did. The
No, but
first
I
three.
was thinking about getting into it again.
I've never. Honestly, I've
Wouldn't it be too time consuming?
Yes.
Yeah,
How many
but-
is there? 1,000?
At least now. There's gotta
Lord,
be fucking
Lord of the
three
Rings. Like,
of them.
this is the argument: is the Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings thing. It's fucking hilarious.
Who's
Like,
arguing about that?
Lots of people.
Really?
There's guys that like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars guys.
So you know who owns Lord of the Rings?
is it?
Disney.
Is it Disney?
They
Oh
just
no,
bought it.
they own
fucking
Narnia.
way.
They own Narnia.
But
Sorry,
no,
Narnia.
No way.
Didn't they buy it? Someone just bought it, and they're gonna make a show. They're gonna make a TV
Maybe,
show based
maybe.
on
Yeah, I don't know.
Lord of the
Hobbit.
Rings, like
Oh,
The Hobbit, like
yeah.
like have it like a Game of Thrones type of thing, but like in like the Shire and shit.
The
I thought it
lore,
was Disney.
the lore for these shows. Like sometimes I think about why companies like Disney buy something like Star Wars, and I think they look at like, I don't know if this is for sure. Obviously, this is pure speculation, but as someone who plays a lot of video games, I think about how valuable like the God of War series lore would be to someone who wanted to make a show.
Right. Yeah,
And like
yeah,
it's
totally.
it's like
an
someone has
excellent
done
idea.
someone has done all the work there, right? So I look at
Yeah.
Star Wars and I think, man, even if you completely fucked up the brand, the lore has enough depth and enough gaps that you could probably fix it to match like a recent trend or match like the thing you think is going to make it popular again or make it a quick moneymaker for you down the
Luke
road.
Skywalker joins like the LGBT.
Whatever, right? Like, should we cut that
That's
out?
day trading. That's day trading right there. That's all
Yeah.
that is. We can just make it. Look, this is an option. We can
But
make
this
a
is
move.
but this is what they're doing, right? I think that they're looking at lore, and so you said it, Will, with the Narnia or the Lord of the Rings. Like these guys are looking at that and going, look at all the gaps in the storytelling here. We could fill those gaps with 5 seasons of a show.
Exactly.
Get
yeah.
another 25 million subscribers to Disney Plus.
And like,
Hey,
by
Luke
the way,
Skywalker just
who
became
wouldn't
Laura.
Want that? Like, like if you're watching like Lord of the Rings, there's only 3 movies
Yeah.
plus The Hobbit. Like, you could fill a TV show for so much backstory, and I would be so interested in that.
Yeah.
You know,
and to be
but it has
honest,
to be done correct.
and to be honest though, like if Disney owns Lord of the Rings, it would make sense if they bought them after the 4 or the 3 came out. Sorry, it would make sense because The Hobbit was rushed.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Well, they made 3 movies out of a book.
the thinnest book.
Out
was
of
Yeah.
a book,
movies.
Yeah.
and it was just like it was so like I remember watching the one like it was probably what's the guy's name? Smaug the dragon,
Yeah.
Smaug or whatever. It was probably one of the best like dragons I've ever seen. It looked dope,
Yeah,
but like the movie was like what?
thin, eh?
But it was 2 hours of just shit like for like a 30-minute story, and it
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of
and then
people
it just
care about that
ended.
though.
You're like what?
Like they don't care.
That was that. I didn't like that. How it
People,
just,
people don't
what?
care about that kind of shit though. They watch it for the like what you just described. It's like
Cinematics.
it's aesthetically pleasing. and-
Cinematics.
yeah.
But it's like, the whole movie. I remember watching. It was so. The only thing I remember was the cinematics. Like the story
yeah.
was trash. It was
Really?
just diluted.
I liked it because I read The Hobbit, the book, and
Yeah.
legit, it stayed to the book very well.
Yeah, okay.
Because they milked it into 9 hours.
They should have made
Yeah.
it a movie. One movie could be that book. That's what they did with the other 3.
That's probably why it was boring, because like there's shit in the book, like not every chapter is like a fucking page turner where it's like this shit is happening, like wars and shit are going on.
No,
It's
they're
just kinda like,
filling details.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, which some people like and some people don't like, I guess.
And they had
We
It
should
is-
talk about movies because there's a thing here about
Yeah.
on the earnings call. Someone asked about the movie production.
Okay, yeah.
And so one of the things they asked was, when do you expect that
Yeah.
large scale production will return? And they don't have a date for that right now,
No,
which is bad. Do you know how much Disney made from their large scale productions in 2019? So 2019, 6.17 billion. We talked about the parks and cruises, 41% of their revenue. What do you think the large scale productions made up for in revenues? That'd be movies, original shows, stuff like that.
for in their revenue, what the percentage was for that?
Yeah, what's the percentage?
25%.
Mike, price rate rules.
Oh, that's tough. 18.
30%.
Fucking.
So now you're at 70%.
Yeah,
Gone.
right. Yeah,
Gone.
Yeah.
The last thing I wrote here is, and it's something they didn't talk about in the earnings call, which was surprising. Disney. There's a caveat here, right? Like, is Disney a buy? I think right now it's not, and I'll give you the reasons why in a bit. But
It's too many sandbags holding it down.
the problem is that the sandbags are out of their control, and
Right.
you know, a few of them are stuff like cruise liners and parks. Like, yeah, we can't fill a cruise liner with people anymore. We can't fill a park with people anymore. We got to go low capacity, right? We got to pay more to make sure that our staff is safe and people are safe. It's cash burn. But I think, to me, the bigger problem is that to go to Disney, if we left from this back porch to go to Disney, what would we have to do?
Get on a plane.
Get on a plane.
And then-
That's one piece. What
And
else?
Then what? Then you'd get there and have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Quarantine for 2 weeks. What else?
You'd have to like wear a mask.
Wear a mask. What else?
I'm not going to Disney.
You can't do it. The average person who wanted to
I'm
go
not even
a
going to
year ago
Wonderland.
can't do it now.
Yeah.
That's one problem. The other problem is their movie profits. Those are never coming back.
I know that. Yeah.
No one is going to movies anymore ever again.
No. I don't
Those are
think so.
all going to close down.
Yeah.
Every theater in the city, in every major city is going to close
I've
down
been saying that for so long.
for good. They're done.
Yeah, theaters.
They are
Cineplex,
done.
Cineplex
Dude,
is
you-
so
like,
done.
They are
It's
done.
so accessible to have like.
So now-
like, either your TVs are big enough. Like everyone's like okay
Yeah.
with like. Fucking TVs are 65 inch.
They're done.
Fucking
You can
corner
lay
to
on a
corner,
king size
man.
bed
Theaters-
downstairs with like a fucking 55-inch.
Put it on your
TV.
fucking
And you can-
ceiling.
and then you can watch it with the chick and you can fuck.
This
Yeah.
is
Can't do that in the movie.
can't
You're not
fuck in
gonna
the
sit there
theater.
movie
Yeah,
theater just like this the whole time.
can't even get a hand job in the theater. It looks weird.
No.
Not
Nightmare.
anymore.
This is so. The other problem is that the theaters and the parks is only part of the profit. The cruise liners, those are people are never going to get back on cruise ships.
Yeah,
The COVID thing was 6 months of getting on a cruise ship is a death sentence.
Yeah.
It's never going to come back.
Yeah,
People are never going to go back to
Cruise
that.
got fucked up because people were getting like welded into rooms.
They are never going to go back to that.
You're standing here.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
So
Oh, you don't want to?
so if they're being honest about their revenue streams, that's 70% of all their profits. Can Disney Plus pull down?
Fucking insane.
Can Disney Plus start pulling down 10 billion a year?
No. Well, like
No.
10 billion a year. Can it do it? But he's got to produce the content. You got to pay for the bandwidth. Amazon. You got to pay Amazon for the bandwidth.
Yep, absolutely.
Can they
I
do
don't
it?
know.
They can't do it.
But,
Disney right now, you just talked about it on your portfolio review, is down how much over the last little while?
Only 4%.
Yeah, but what other subscription service is down 5%?
Yeah. Well, but it's because like
4% on how much though?
Probably 130 or something like that.
it's all relative, bro. It's only
guess.
130, 140.
Probably 130. It was 115 on Friday.
In my eyes, 4% of 130 billion
Oh,
is a lot of money.
I'm saying
Yeah.
Disney is not a buy, and if I was a big time Disney shareholder, I'd have questions about the next 10 years.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Will, the amount of money and capital and like company culture or company like one of the pillars of that company is the parks.
Of course, yeah.
They're in trouble.
That is
They are,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the,
Well,
One,
that's
the other
like
other pillars of the company, movies,
movie's gone.
they're in trouble.
They're not
That's-
in trouble, I don't think.
Movies,
Like yeah, like the theaters and shit, but like they still have like Disney Plus now to lean on with like their original
we just
content.
talked about how one of the things they lean on are these box office numbers. those box office numbers are never going to rebound.
Yeah.
They're never going to
Didn't
rebound.
AMC just go bankrupt?
AMC went bankrupt last week.
And they're talking about Amazon buying it.
Amazon's not going to buy it. They pulled out.
They did pull out?
Yeah, that was one of the things I saw in the Trading View news ticker. They pulled out of the deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And like, if you have been paying attention to like movies as a whole, like forget companies, movies are kind of like everybody's just doing remakes.
Yeah,
Like,
everyone is doing
Nothing
remakes.
is new. Nothing
movies
is
are
new.
Like if a new movie comes out, a good new movie comes out, it's like.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Up.
I'm telling you,
Holy fuck!
I would not bet I wouldn't bet the farm against Disney. But if you asked me where I'd want to dump $1,000 right now, Disney wouldn't be in the top 5,
No.
top 10, top 20. Sure.
I do. I definitely respect it. Like, a lot of their income comes from, like, tourism, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't see it coming back, but I also see people being short-minded. I don't think 10 years. I don't think in 8 years, no one's gonna be like, I'm not going on a cruise because of fucking. This
But are you
shit
not
back then."
worried
Like,
about,
no one
like-
got?
All right,
no one-
Warren.
But like nowadays, people aren't like, I'm not getting on a plane because remember 2001.
No, but aren't you worried about the gap between the service they're providing coming back and something like VR, for example? Like, where's Disney on the VR front? Why don't they have a VR set? Why don't they have a VR platform? They
That's
don't.
gonna be huge.
I couldn't find one, and
Yeah,
so that's the
VR
first
is
thing I
gonna
thought.
take
I thought
over.
this is a good way for them to bridge the gap. Even if they think it's going to return to profitability in 10 years, where are you in the meantime? You can't tell me that the only thing you're doing is Mandalorian. That's not enough to fucking earn 114 a share.
How much do you think
Yeah.
Disney stock surged when Baby Yoda came out?
Oh fuck!
It fucking
I don't
it,
know.
might, it had to have just
Probably a lot.
jumped.
There's probably a Baby Yoda candle for that day.
You know, like
It was released.
Baby Yoda was around forever. Man, I was
Baby
fucking-
Yoda's
that
gonna
was
have his
the
own movie,
funniest
probably.
shit.
It's probably on
production.
Pornhub. The video probably titled "Green Candle
Jesus Christ.
Plows Through Resistance" or something. Whatever. Like, it's on all the porn sites. Yeah. Like, I can just imagine that's probably a huge fucking deal for them. Baby Yoda was gigantic. It was in memes. It was in toys, movies.
And
It's everywhere.
They pay for shit either.
Yeah, they don't pay for anything.
But yeah, so you don't think?
Plows through
I
resistance.
wouldn't buy it today.
Yeah.
My last stock review when I did Spotify, I bought a fuck ton of it. I spent
Right.
like $1,500 on Spotify.
Oh yeah. true.
Yeah, I bought like 5 shares.
Yeah.
And that ended up being a good buy so far, anyway.
So funny to hear that. I bought a fuck ton of it. I bought 5 shares.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
$1,000.
Which is a lot of money. Like,
American.
it's just funny. Just like the quantity.
It was like almost 40. It was like $1,400 or $1,500. I don't remember now what it was, but it was a lot
Man,
at the time.
I will say this, then we'll end it, or whatever.
We can end it. We're done. We're 2 hours now.
But I'm thinking like,
I know it's always 2 hours.
man, I did see like, and this is kind of how I do gauge a little bit of like the trends are going. I don't like it, but this is how I do gauge a little bit. Like Instagram comments from like kids that are like coming.
Oh yeah, man.
But they were like, it was a picture of someone like fudging their streams on Spotify or something.
Yeah.
A lot of the top comments were young kids being like, "Who the fuck even uses Spotify anymore?"
Really?
Yeah, and I was surprised.
What else do you use?
I don't know. People use Apple Music and people use YouTube Red, man. People do use YouTube. Apparently, that's what these kids were saying.
I'm relying on. I don't think I said this
Spotify's
on.
far too good.
I didn't say this on the Spotify review, but I'm
getting
relying on in the third world, iPhones are still basically completely inaccessible, so people have to buy Android phones, and so you don't get that that sort of monopolization of
of Apple.
ecosystem. Yeah,
Oh yeah, true.
yeah. So that's one thing I didn't say in the review, but I've thought about since, and another
Interesting.
reason
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
I like
So
to
you're
buy
not-
for the emerging world.
True.
But yeah, no, that's Spotify comments. Man, I would be lying if I didn't say that I was kind of laughing the first time the kids on my basketball team said they don't use Instagram anymore.
Yeah.
Like we post like one picture there. A kid on my team a couple of years ago ripped me up before a game in front of Ken's. He's like, Coach, you got more posts than you have followers.
That's jokes.
I deleted a bunch of posts that day.
You did?
I
Yeah,
bet.
I deleted a
You
bunch.
listened to him?
I had to.
Who cares?
You gotta,
They
gotta
like,
maintain your cred. Those kids have to run suicides for you when you tell them. You
That's
can't have
true.
More
That's
posts
true.
than followers.
You gotta have.
What
Yeah.
you gotta say is make
gotta
it
earn their
feel to fucking
respect.
run suicides for guys who got more posts and followers. bitch.
yeah.
True.
I'm fucking running you down.
We got a last thought.
Yeah, Instagram's fucking whack.
Well, thanks for the beer, Will. Appreciate that. Thanks to you both for fucking waking up. Made it through
good.
another 2 hours, and we'll see you next week. God bless and take care.
Peace.